Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 701 Son of the Ming Dynasty, Mingdong. 2nd. After the Lord of Ancient Times said a lot of nonsense, he officially mentioned the duel. All races of the 13th Cosmic Era, please send the 3 galaxy classes you have chosen, and the duel will begin soon. The Ancient Way. Immediately, the Protoss sent a galaxy class to fly into the ring. But it can be seen from the eyes of this god race Xinghe level that he is very scared, just pretending to be calm. Everyone knows that this Xinghe class was sent to death. Anyone who knew that he was about to die would be terrified, but this Protoss galaxy couldn't resist the top of the Protoss, but the top of the Protoss would definitely give his family enough compensation. Boom! One of the 12 major forces of the galaxy appeared. He was wearing a white feather coat and holding a long spear in the ring. War God. The young man said his name. My name is Yu. Ow. The god race Xinghe level didn't even say his title, only his real name, and hesitating, looking very nervous. You're too weak, I'll let you attack for a minute. Zontian is arrogant. Real. Divine race Yu Qing asked. It's 29. Zontian nodded. At this moment, Yu Qing of the Protoss had a glimmer of hope. If he was allowed to attack for 1 minute, he felt that he might have a chance to win. After all, he is also a galaxy rank achieved by His Highness of the Eternal Ancient rank. His combat power is not weak. Although he is not the most powerful of the Protoss, he is not hopeless at all. Kill. Yu Qing of the god race motivated the various source artifacts on his body, and even held an ordinary treasured longsword, and used his unique skills of kendo to attack Zontian. Boom! Countless attacks bombarded Zontian's body, but Zontian only held up the defense, did not take a step back at all, and did not make any counterattacks. Seconds passed by. No matter how Yu Qing attacked, there was no way to break Zontian's defense. No, you have to work hard, or you will definitely die. Yu Qing began to burn the bloodline of the god race of life and most of his own vitality. Even if the secret technique will be abolished this time, it is better than death. Go to hell. Yu Qing slashed with all his strength, even sacrificing the origin of this ordinary treasure. The sword that erupted vaguely reached the combat power of His Highness at the supreme level. However, even the real supreme level Highness couldn't hurt Zontian. Just because he is the son of Era. And Yu Qing is not the son of Ji Yuan, nor is there any son of Ji Yuan in the Protoss. He can't imagine how powerful the son of Ji Yuan is. Boom! A sword that broke out desperately hit Zontian's body. After this sword was used, Yu Qing quickly retreated. The energy subsided, and Yu Qing looked forward. At this moment, a figure passed through the energy burst area and appeared in front of him instantly. A voice came at the same time. Your attack is too weak. Is this the genius of the 13th universe era? It's too ridiculous. 1 minute has come, it's my turn. As soon as the voice fell, Zontian called. Boom! Yu Qing's entire body was directly smashed into pieces and turned into countless fragments. Even the god race's recovery ability could not be recovered, and even the last vitality was instantly annihilated. Instant kill. Seeing this scene, those Supremes were not surprised, and even the Supremes of the Protoss just sighed and felt very normal. Yu Qing is not even a Supreme Highness. How could he be Zontian's opponent? Being killed in seconds is too normal and not enough. Moreover, Zontian is a master of spear art. He didn't even shoot out a spear, and he crushed Yu Qing with one hand. The gap between the two sides can already be seen. The first battle, we won. The Ancient Way. The first battle, we will hand over 100 star fields, and then start the second battle. The first god of the Protoss said. Okay, since you want to end it quickly, let's start the second battle. 1. The Primordial Lord smiled. Wow, the son of the second era of the 12 factions appeared, a woman exuding a cold aura, holding a cyan longsword. And now in this cosmos era is a galaxy of demons. This time the battle is not so slow, and it ends just after the beginning. I saw a flash of sword light, and the Xinghe level demon race was instantly killed, and his body turned into countless dust. What a quick sword. It is clear that this man has cut out countless swords, and the swords have all hit the galaxy level of the demon race. The sword light formed by the swords has chopped the demon race star into countless pieces, which caused such a picture. The second battle, we won again. The ancient master smiled happily. Let's start the third battle, said the first god of the Protoss. Okay, let's start the third battle. The ancient master nodded. Immediately, the Lord of Primordial Ancient discussed with the other Supremes. Whoever takes the shot in this battle is just a form. This universe is still very young, and it is in the early to middle stage of the Cosmos era. It should not be enough to give birth to a son of the era. Just send one, suggested. At this time, the Lord Mingtian of Pluto civilization said, "Let my family's Mingdong go. He is the son of the epic who is about to be destroyed and born in the universe, and he is at the level of the son of the epic who has just been promoted, and his combat power is not comparable to those of the powerful epic. Son, but there is no problem with the other party's galaxy level of this Cosmos era, and it is just for him to experience more, CO73 and see the world." Can. The Primordial Lord agreed. Wow, Pluto civilization's Mingdong appeared on the ring. And Yi Tian also flew up and appeared on the ring. Yi Tian also directly reported his name. He saw that these sons of the era like to report their real names, and they don't like to say any titles. It is estimated that the previous Cosmos era did not have any titles when the strength was not strong, and the titles belonged to the strong. Mingdong also said, "Start." With this voice, Yi Tian's battle with Mingdong began. Die. A ray of light appeared between Mingdong's eyebrows, piercing through Yi Tian at an incredible speed. Under the eyes of everyone, the light entered Yi Tian's eyebrows. Ended. Mingdong murmured, and immediately turned around to leave. Are you ready to abstain? Yi Tian's voice came. What? Mingdong was shocked, turned his head and stared at Yi Tian, showing an incredible look. At this time, the Supremes of the 12 factions were also slightly shocked. Lord Mingtian also showed an incredible look. Our Ming people specialize in soul cultivation, and the soul system of this universe has been suppressed and is very imperfect. How could he resist Mingdong's soul attack? Chapter 702 Victory. First update. I remembered that the artifact spirit of the Pluto temple was mentioned after I returned, and a genius in this Cosmos era obtained my family's Pluto secret tome with the best assessment results. Now it seems that this is the case. His soul realm is definitely not weaker than Mingdong. Venerable Master Mingtian stared at Yi Tian and suddenly realized. The Master of Primordial Ancient he said, "Master Mingtian, you are shooting yourself in the foot. If you didn't take out the secret tome of Hades, there would not be such an accident today." Venerable Mingtian's strength is far inferior to the Lord of Primordial Ancient, but he dares to refute. Master of Primordial Ancient, I did not expect anyone to complete the highest assessment, and leave inheritance in the Temple of Hades, also for unexpected situations. If there are any flaws in the technique, the inheritance cannot be cut off, right? Besides, I discovered through the powerful soul secret technique that this human being named Yi Tian has an aura similar to yours, and he has obtained your inheritance in comparison, right? The Lord of Primordial Ancient frowned, then stared at Yi Tian, calculated it again, and said in surprise, Tianyuan Junfa. In terms of value, Tianyuan Junfa is no worse than Pluto's secret tome, or even better. Immediately, the Lord of Primordial Ancient also shut up and said nothing. On the ring, although Mingdong was a little surprised that Yi Tian was hit by his soul, he was only slightly surprised. Just now, he just performed a small secret technique, and he didn't have any real style. Soul Realm, come. Mingdong really made a move and used his powerful secret technique. Boom, an illusory soul world descended, and countless soul laws covered this area. Then, a chain of souls flew from the depths of the soul world and attacked Yi Tian. What a wonderful soul secret technique, definitely not from the secret tome of Hades. Yi Tian thought to himself. He knows that his soul power should be weaker than Mingdong, and the soul secret technique he masters is definitely far inferior to Mingdong. If he relies on soul power, he will definitely not be able to beat Mingdong. Certainly, his real fighting power does not depend on the power of the soul, and the means of the soul is just an aid. Although Mingdong is the son of Era, Yi Tian has many ways to kill him. However, he cannot show all his strengths, otherwise he will be easily targeted. Without understanding the forces of these 12 cosmos eras, he will not rashly put himself in a dangerous situation. Super god level space-time talent can't be exposed, and powerful physical strength can't be fully exposed, then use knife skills. Yi Tian pondered. He did not use the primordial strike, but only used the unique technique of the Tianyu saber, and controlled the power, only showing the combat power comparable to the general son of Era. Tianyu knife, slash. The blow that carried the power of the great Tao hit the soul chain. Even though the soul chain was illusory, it was slashed by the Tianyu saber's unique technique, and it was shattered. At the same time, Yi Tian also mobilized his soul power to prevent the ubiquitous soul from affecting him. The battle between the two lasted for a while, and the outcome was almost indistinguishable. Sudden, Yi Tian burst out the power of time, but only burst out the power of God-level time talent, and displayed a great time supernatural power, the Wheel of Time. This great magical power can make people enter the cycle of time, or even be trapped in the cycle of time forever. If Yi Tian used the Wheel of Time with all his strength, he could definitely make Mingdong fall into the time loop, but he didn't use it with all his strength, but the Wheel of Time that only released water instantly caused Mingdong's consciousness to fall into the time loop for a short time. Then, Yi Tian took the opportunity to inflict heavy damage on Mingdong. The body of the Ming clan is not strong, even if Mingdong, the son of Era, has a strong physical quality, it is too weak for Yi Tian and is a weakness. In addition, the physical talent of the Ming clan is not good, and the recovery speed is not fast, otherwise the Ming clan would have been invincible long ago. Therefore, after being severely wounded by Yi Tian, Mingdong was difficult to recover and was at stake. Even if Mingdong broke out the soul secret technique and forcibly broke out of the time loop, he still could not avoid the end of defeat. Just after Yi Tian was about to kill Mingdong, an accident appeared. Boom! A terrifying force enveloped Mingdong and directly took Mingdong out of the ring. We admit defeat. Venerable Lord Ming Tian replaced Mingdong and said directly. Yi Tian frowned, but did not speak. This level of dialogue was not his intervention, and naturally it was up to those supremes to speak. However, the Supreme Pluto forcibly intervened in the duel of the galaxy level, which undoubtedly broke the rules. The first Divine Lord of the Protoss said at this time, Master Mingtian, what do you mean? Junior loses, I admit defeat for him. The Lord of Heaven. Admit defeat. This decisive battle is a decisive battle of the galaxy level. What do you mean by intervening? Could it be that you can't afford to lose, and you don't want your son of the era to fall? Aren't our two galaxy level dead in vain? Venerable Ming Tian sneered. How can your two Xinghe level be compared with Mingdong? Those two are just the dead ghosts you found, and they are of no value at all. The first god of the Protoss saw that Venerable Ming Tian was so helpless, so he looked at the Lord of Primordial Ancient. Master of Primordial Ancient, this decisive battle was initiated on your behalf, and now you have broken the rules, what should we do? Let's discuss it and give you an answer soon, said the Lord of Primordial Ancient. It is good. The first god of the god race nodded. About a few minutes passed, and the Lord of Primordial Ancient and Venerable Ming Tian seemed to have a little bit of conflict. They seemed to be arguing, but it was just a voice transmission discussion, and the voice transmission was blocked, so it was impossible to know what they were talking about. Suddenly, the Lord of Primordial Ancient opened his mouth and said, well, you lost 2 games, you should have paid the price of 200 stars, and now you only need to pay 100 stars, how? The first god of the Protoss didn't want to agree. He didn't want to pay for a single star field, but he also knew that the forces of the 12 universes Zhao Hao of Zhou Jiwan would definitely not agree. If there was trouble, it would definitely be detrimental to them. Therefore, the clan and the other universes were generous and agreed to this decision. Okay, we agreed. The first god of the god race opened the mouth and said. Afterwards, they signed a cosmic agreement, and the forces of the 12 cosmic eras announced that they would never attack any race in the universe, or even any race, within 100,000 years. Yi Tian, you have done a great job this time, very good. Kunwu Supreme said with a smile. Kunwu Supreme, I am just for myself. Yi Tian said modestly, let's go to the gods and demons of the gods and demons, we can't deny the benefits promised by the gods and demons. Kunwu Supreme said with a smile. God and Devil. Yi Tian showed excitement and followed Kunwu Supreme to Shenmo Tianfeng. Chapter 703 Chaos Haifa Phase Limit. 2nd. God of the Devil. This world is located in an ancient battlefield at the intersection of the gods and the demons, and it is a blocked area. The Protoss and the demons occupy 2 more prosperous areas in the center of the universe, with a large number of star fields, and some of the star fields are very close, so there are many contradictions and frequent wars. And this ancient battlefield was caused by a war for a long time, and that war affected Shenmotion and exposed the position of Shenmotion, which was discovered by the gods and the demons together. After that, the gods and the demons fought again and again because of the ownership of the gods. In the end, in order not to cause greater losses, the two sides jointly took charge of the gods, and each sent a supreme guard to guard the gods to prevent other races sneak into the gods and demons. If it is normal, let alone Yi-Tian, even Kunwu Supreme would not dare to come here, otherwise he will be besieged by many Supremes of the Protoss, and he will not be able to escape. Arrive. Kunwu Supreme Yi-Tian walked all the way through the ancient battlefield and came to a twin mountain. This twin mountain stands in the void and is very huge, and there is a magnificent temple on both mountains, and there are two supreme beings living in the temple. This twin mountain was moved by the god race and the demon race, and as the habitation of the two supreme beings, it is also convenient to guard this place. As soon as Yi-Tian and Kunwu Supreme approached here, the supreme beings of the two races of gods and demons who were guarding here discovered it. Woohoo! The supremes of the Protoss and demons came out of the twin mountains, standing in the void, staring at the supreme Kunwu. Human Kunwu Supreme. The two supremes said. It turned out to be the Baotian Supreme of the god race and the Troll Supreme of the demon race. Kunwu Supreme said lightly, his tone was not too restrained, obviously not afraid of these two supremes. Supremes are also divided into strong and weak, but Kunwu Supreme's strength is much stronger than these two supremes, so naturally he is not afraid of these two. And Baotian Supreme and Troll Supreme are also not afraid of Kunwu Supreme because of their status. We know your purpose, and we will open the gods and demons later, but one thing to remember, don't try to open the time talent to accelerate the time, otherwise once we sense that the consumption of the gods and demons is much faster, we can get you out now. Baotian Supreme Road. Clear. Yi-Tian also knows that the gods and the demons will not allow the time to speed up and spend more time in the gods and demons. In that case, too much special energy of the gods and demons will be consumed, and the gods and demons will be abolished. It takes a long time to recover. Wait here, CJFI. Baotian Supreme and Troll Tianzun flew into the Twin Mountains again. Soon, a terrifying force came from the Twin Mountains, distorting this piece of void. Then, a passage appeared in the void, which was a passage leading to the gods and demons. Go in. The voices of Baotian Supreme and Troll Supreme came. Kunwu Supreme, I'm in. Yi-Tian looked at Kunwu Supreme. Go, I'll wait for you here for 10 years. Said Kunwu Supreme. Yi-Tian nodded, turned around and flew towards the passageway, entering the heaven of gods and demons. God of the devil, Yi-Tian stood on the ground here, breathing the breath here. Is this the god and demon heaven? Yi-Tian asked himself. Soon, he discovered the special nature of Shin motion. It seems that it is easy to fit the Tao here, and everything seems to be integrated with the Tao. Immediately, he released the power of his Chaos Avenue, and an astonishing picture appeared in front of his eyes. Boom! A chaotic sea appeared, and it was the appearance of Yi-Tian's chaotic sea. Then, the Chaos Haifa phase began to change, evolving towards a higher level, which perfectly showed Yi-Tian's future direction. I saw that Chaos Haifa was compressing, and the originally boundless Chaos Sea slowly evolved into a small sea, a lake, and finally turned into an ancient well. Then, a source of origin was slowly born from the ancient well. Original realm, this is the original realm in the great primal chaos. It turns out that after my Dharma phase realm, the Chaos Sea is continuously compressed. Different people have different Dharma phases and different cultivation directions, and the scene in front of me is me the direction of cultivation. Yi-Tian completely understood, but even if you understand this, it is not easy to compress the chaotic sea law. You need to understand it to be able to compress it. But in the gods and demons heaven, Yi-Tian's Dharma state was perfectly presented. Yi-Tian could comprehend the details of its compression, and truly comprehend the essence of the chaotic sea Dharma state. This time, even if he couldn't break into the source realm in one fell swoop, he was able to greatly improve his chaotic sea law realm. Just use the next 10 years to gain a good understanding. Yi-Tian muttered, sitting cross-legged, began to practice formally. As time passed, Yi-Tian continued to comprehend, and gradually realized the method of compressing the Chaos Haifa phase, and the Chaos Haifa phase began to compress. Although the area of Chaos Haifa is getting smaller and smaller, it is getting more and more condensed, just like the power of Chaos Avenue has been condensed and compressed, and it is getting stronger and stronger than before. 3 years later, Yi-Tian succeeded in compressing the Chaos Haifa phase to the size of a small sea, and this realm was equivalent to the middle stage of the Dharma phase realm. Then, Yi-Tian continued to work hard. Finally, 7 years have passed. On this day, Yi-Tian made another breakthrough, and the Chaos Haifa phase was compressed to the size of a lake, which was already equivalent to the later stage of the Chaos Haifa phase. There is only one step left, which is to compress to the size of the ancient well, form the source, and step into the source realm. But this step is not so easy. Yi Tian does not have the slightest confidence to step in a short time. Time passed slowly, and 3 years passed in a blink of an eye. 10 years have come. Unfortunately, I haven't condensed the origin of the Tao. Yi Tian sighed. He has compressed the Chaos Haifa phase to the level close to the ancient well, which is already equivalent to the limit of the Chaos Haifa phase realm, and is only one step away from the original realm. But this step is very far away, it is difficult to break, it takes a long time or chance. You must know that some weak supreme beings can also reach the realm of the law, and only those powerful supreme beings can reach the realm of origin. Therefore, this step is not so easy. Enough is enough. This chance has made my Chaos Dharma realm soar, and my strength has soared a lot. Yi Tian showed a happy smile. At this time, the void was turbulent, and a big hand grabbed it. Next moment, Yi Tian appeared in the outside world and had already left Shen Motion. And standing in front of him are Baoshan Supreme, Troll Tianzun and Kunwu Supreme. Yi Tian, let's go back to the human race. Kunwu Supreme came over and said. Yes, Kunwu Supreme. Yi Tian nodded. Chapter 704 Tianj enters the Holy City. Open black lens bracket full order close black lens bracket. Yi Tian and Kunwu Supreme returned to the human race. This time, because Yi Tian participated in the battle and won a victory for the various races in the universe, the human race's star domain was not divided into a single star domain. For the human race, no loss is the greatest gain. And many cosmic clans lost 1 or 2 star fields more or less, which is not a small loss. A star field seems to be just a site, and it can completely conquer the sites of other small clans, but the star field of the cosmic clan is not comparable to the star field of the small clan. The star field of a cosmic clan is very prosperous and has a complete negotiation system, even if they evacuated, the losses would still be huge. Yi Tian helped the human race this time, so after returning, the high-level people of the human race planned to give Yi Tian some rewards. This day, a notice from the human race was sent to Tianj. The first time, Yi Yu came to Yi Tian. Brother, it's a good thing. Yi Yu was very excited and ran in front of Yi Tian and said excitedly. What happened, so excited? Yi Tian was slightly curious. Brother, look, this is an invitation letter from the Holy City, inviting us Tianj to become a member of the Holy City. Yi Yu said excitedly. An invitation from the Holy City. Yi Tian took the invitation letter from Yi Yu, opened it, and browsed it carefully. The invitation letter has the breath of the city lord of the Holy City and the brand of the human race. It is a real invitation letter, not a fake. Brother, I heard that the Holy City is extremely strict about the entry of forces. Those who can enter the Holy City are basically some Dominion-level forces and the branches of the 9 Supreme-level forces, and the Overlord-level forces can enter the Holy City. It can be counted, it belongs to the Overlord-level forces with a deep background and unlimited potential, but our Tianj is not even a 9-star force now, but we did not expect to receive an invitation from the Holy City. Yi Yu was very excited. Once settled in the Holy City, the development of Tianj will be completely different, the reputation will be far beyond the present, and the status will naturally be more detached. You must know that even the Gaohe Chamber of Commerce, the second largest force in Tianlin Giant City, is not qualified to enter the Holy City. If allowed, the Gaohe Chamber of Commerce would even be willing to give up half of their net worth in exchange for the opportunity to settle in the Holy City, but this opportunity is too difficult. The high-level human race is really generous, even allowing Tianj to enter the Holy City. Yi Tian smiled slightly. He is very clear that this should be because he won the battle of the galaxy level and won benefits for the human race. Coupled with the help of Kunwu Supreme, the major forces of the human race agreed to this plan, otherwise several forces would disagree. If so, Tianj will not be able to break the rules and enter the Holy City. After all, this is the back door. Xiao Yu, it's really a good thing. Get ready, Tianj headquarters will be relocated again, but Tianlin Giant City has to set up a branch. After all, the business and site here can also bring huge benefits to Tianj. Benefits, don't give up easily. Yi Tian ordered. Yes, Yi Yu happily arranged it. And the news that Tianj was about to move into the Holy City quickly spread to all the major forces in Tianlin Giant City. For a time, many forces were stunned. High River Chamber of Commerce. One of the founders, Lord Gao He, was extremely surprised when he heard the news. Tianj has moved into the Holy City. How could this be? I wanted to let the Gaohe Chamber of Commerce live in the Holy City. I was willing to pay a lot of money and only wanted to open a branch. This proposal was rejected by those guys. Tianj has settled in the Holy City. The potential of Wanfa Zhenjin is indeed amazing, but it is far from growing. Lord Gaohe was extremely curious. There are many curious people like Gaohe Lord, but all of them do not know why the Holy City and the high-level human race agree to such a thing. And some forces are furious, such as the Ten Light Sword Sect. Ten Light Sword Sect Headquarters. The Ten Light Lord was really angry and smashed many things. What is Tianj? Damn, last time because of the Tianj incident, our Ten Light Sword Sect suffered heavy losses. I didn't expect the weak Tianj to enter the Holy City now, which is what our Ten Light Sword Sect dreamed of wanting to enter. Place. Ten Light Lord shouted, but he is just a master. Even if he is not weak among masters, he is not qualified to intervene in the Holy City, so he cannot prevent Tianj from entering the Holy City. Therefore, he has no choice but to lose his temper here. Half a month later, Tianj officially settled in the Holy City, and found a good place in the Holy City as the headquarters. Although it is not as big as the Tianj headquarters in the Tianlin giant city, in the Holy City of Inch of Gold, as long as it occupies a place, then it's been pretty good. For flowers, Yi Tian is also busy dealing with Tianj's entry into the Holy City, and is constantly making good friends with some forces in the Holy City. At the same time, he also basically understood the power of the Holy City. In the Holy City, the strongest force is the Holy Mansion, which is another name for the City Master's Mansion. The Holy Mansion, one Supreme Being, and they belong to the same family. It can be regarded as one family, one Supreme Being, one day, one Supreme Being. Tianzun is talking about the Deputy City Lord Holy Punishment Tianzun, and the Supreme is talking about Shungshan Supreme, whose strength is very powerful, second only to Kunwu Supreme. Under the Holy Palace, there are the Palace of Reward and Punishment, the Palace of Fire, the Palace of Magic Heaven, the Palace of the Empress and the Four Heavenly Gates, also known as the One Palace, Three Palaces and Four Heavenly Gates. 0. Among them, one of the Hall Masters of the Hall of Rewards and Punishment is the Holy Punishment Heavenly Venerate, so the Holy Punishment Heavenly Venerate belongs to two forces, and some rights in the Holy City are not weaker than that of the City Lord. The Palace Lord of the Third Palace is also a goddess, and Yi Tian knows the Palace Lord of the Raging Fire Palace, and has dealt with the Raging Fire God. The Lord of the Wantian Divine Palace is Huan Tianzun, a master of magic, while the Queen's Palace is a Tianjun palace built by perfect people, known as the first female emperor of the human race, also called Kei Tianzun. The Four Heavenly Gates are the Four Heavenly Gates guarding the four directions of the Holy City. The surrounding heavenly gates belong to the City Lord's mansion, but they are managed independently, and they have a large number of human troops. Therefore, the strength of the four heavenly gates should not be underestimated. They are the most dominant forces in the Holy City, but they are not guarded by Heavenly Venerate. But even so, Tianzun did not dare to underestimate the four heavenly gates. The four heavenly gates have powerful battle formations, and when combined with them, they are enough to leapfrog and fight. Further down, there are the branches of the 9 supreme-level forces in the Holy City. Although they are only a small part of the forces, they should not be underestimated. A force like Tianj is definitely not in the Holy City, it can even be said to be the weakest force, but as long as you enter the Holy City, it will be easier for Tianj to develop. Many inheritances and scarce resources that are difficult to obtain in the outside world are easy to obtain in the Holy City. Moreover, if you cultivate in the Holy City, the cultivation speed is much faster than the outside world. In a word, the Holy City is definitely the most prosperous city of the human race, and it is also the core of the human race. Chapter 705 The Plan. Seeking full order. Tianj is now settled in the Holy City, and the security issue is absolutely reliable. The last Ghost Gate incident was a special event, but even so, the strong people of the Ming clan did not break through the Holy City. It is conceivable that the human race attached great importance to the Holy City. Once the Holy City has been breached, it will represent the end of the human race. Therefore, Yi Tian was very happy when Tianj settled in the Holy City, and he was completely assured of the safety of his wife, sister and others. At this time, the Supremes of the 12 Universe Era held a meeting. This time the meeting is held in the Ceylon Star Field. The Sharon Star region is a star region of the Sand Clan of the Cosmos, and it is now divided into 12 Cosmos Era forces. Now, the forces of the 12 Cosmos Eras have basically divided these star fields, and these star fields are being developed. However, some things were still not sorted out by 073, so this meeting started. At the meeting, the Lord of Primordial Ancient said, "This time, we have won 100 star fields, which is enough for a short time, but not necessarily enough in the future. However, for the time being, we can't really fight with the various races of this cosmos era. They, after all, we don't understand us, and we are still suppressed by the origin of the universe, and we are not suitable for a full-scale war. As long as we pass some years, even if we are firmly integrated into this era of the universe, the final plan can be launched. Does the plan really work? How easy is it to detach? Venerable Mingtian frowned. He didn't seem to believe it. At this time, the Lord of Primordial Ancient said coldly, Master Mingtian, are you questioning the plan of that existence? If it wasn't for that one, would we be able to survive the great disruption of the universe? Now we reproduce this cosmic era, this proves that the plan can be successful. Besides, this is our only chance. If we can't escape, we will never be able to escape. HMPH, if this kind of damage to morale, I hope that Lord Mingtian will continue to do so in the future. Don't say it anymore, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Besides, we could have obtained 200 star fields, but it's all your fault for interfering in the duel. Fortunately, this matter has little impact on the plan, otherwise even if I will let you go, the other Supremes will not, will let you go. Ming Tianzun was in charge of the loss, did not dare to refute, lowered his head and stopped talking. The Golden God Clan's Golden Light Supreme said, Master of the ancient times, this plan cannot be completed at once, and we need a certain amount of luck, and the development of the ethnic group is necessary. Create a race that belongs to us, and let the sons of the era and the Supreme Highnesses to experience, try to let them grow up. Once they really grow up, they will become supreme in this era of the universe, more in line with this universe, and their strength is definitely not weaker than us, good for our plan too. 1. This is natural, but we have to unite, and try not to reveal any secrets, otherwise, if it is known by all races in the universe, it will be bad, and it may affect our plans. Said the ancient master. I am very sure of that. All the Supremes nodded. By the way, you must also keep it a secret to those sons of the era and your Supreme Highness. You must not let them know about this plan. Although they are from our side, once they are captured by the masters of this era of the universe, maybe they will leaking our secrets, this risk cannot be taken. The ancient lord reminded. Clear, the Supremes agreed. Afterwards, all the Supremes dispersed. In the next few hundred years, the universe was surprisingly calm, and even there was almost no war between the various races in the universe. All races were developing their own strengths, and even those supreme beings went into retreat to try to improve their strength. The forces of the 12 cosmos era maintain a non-interfering equilibrium with the current cosmos races, but everyone knows very well that this equilibrium can only last for 100,000 years at most. Once 100,000 years have passed, perhaps war will come. And is a mere 100,000 years long? Not long. For those Supremes, 100,000 years is just a long-term retreat, and it is difficult to improve any strength at all. All races in the universe also know that the forces of these 12 cosmos eras are delaying time, but they do not dare to attack first because the consequences are unbearable for any race. The Protoss didn't dare to take the lead in launching an attack, how could the other big races in the universe dare? But the various races in the universe did not give up their actions. They secretly investigated why the forces of the 12 universe eras were able to survive to the present era, and what was their purpose. Moreover, the forces of these 12 cosmos eras appeared at almost the same time. How did the forces of the 12 cosmos eras, which had almost no contact, communicate with each other and were born together? What secrets does this contain? These questions are what all races in the universe want to know now. This day, Kunwu Supreme entered the holy city and met Yi Tian secretly. This was also the first time Kunwu Supreme took the initiative to meet Yi Tian. In the past, Supreme Kunwu sent someone to summon Yi Tian and let Yi Tian go to Kunwu Palace, but this time it changed. Yi Tian saw the Supreme Kunwu and said in surprise, Yi Tian has seen the Supreme Kunwu, I don't know why the Supreme Kunwu is visiting. Kunwu Supreme sat down and said, there is a big event, but because it is quite special, I secretly met to prevent the information from leaking out. In order to verify my identity, I will tell you some things I met with you in the past. Immediately, Kunwu Supreme said his own affairs, making Yi Tian convinced that he is Kunwu Supreme. Kunwu Supreme, you are. Yi Tian was a little puzzled. It's to guard against the supreme beings of the 12 cosmos eras. If there is a supreme being who is proficient in disguise and secretly disguised as me, it will be troublesome, and I came to you this time with those 12 cosmos eras. The power has something to do with it. Not long ago, the Supremes of the Protoss, demons, and a few cosmic clans secretly summoned a meeting, and our 5.8 people also went to a few Supremes. The result of the meeting was to attract those era sons with bait, and then let you capture one or two children of the era and try to get some information from those children of the era. The Protoss, demons and other cosmic clans don't want to wait until 100,000 years later. The situation is too complicated at that time, and no one knows what will happen at that time. Therefore, we must know the information and plans of the 12 cosmic eras as soon as possible. Kunwu Supreme said. So it is. Yi Tian understood, but frowned again. Kunwu Supreme, how could those sons of Era be so easily fooled? 1. If there is an opportunity they can't refuse, I believe they will be fooled. Kunwu Supreme said with a smile. What chance? Yi Tian was also curious. Chapter 706 The Battle of the Gods of the World. Open black lens bracket seeking full order close black lens bracket. Under Yi Tian's curious gaze, Kunwu Supreme said, the forces of the 12 cosmos eras do not lack many resources, and their number is too small, and the resources are absolutely sufficient. Therefore, it is impossible to use some resources and treasures. Attract those children of the era, but there is one thing that the children of the era must want very much. Yi Tian did not interrupt Kunwu Supreme's words, and continued to listen to Kunwu Supreme's narration. Kunwu Supreme continued. Yi Tian, you have once fought the Battle of Luck, you should know more about the Battle of Luck. Many cosmic clans in the universe have fought the Battle of Luck within the clan, and use the luck to cultivate one's luck. To the two children of the universe. Luck is very important, and you have the luck of the immortal race. Even if you don't have the identity of the child of the universe, or even be suppressed by the universe, with the luck of the immortal race and the luck of the human race alone, it is enough to make up for the suppression of the universe, and it is still luck like a rainbow. But the sons of the 12th universe era have no luck in this universe era, and they are suppressed by the universe far beyond your imagination, although they can still play out. However, the path of cultivation is very difficult, and it takes countless resources and time to grow up. Of course, even so, they will still not be short of resources, but if they can greatly improve their luck, I believe them will definitely go there. Boost your luck. Yi Tian somewhat understood the thoughts of the Supremes. I saw Kunwu Supreme said again. This time, all races in the universe want to fight a battle of the gods of the world. Battle of the godson of 10,000 worlds? Yi Tian asked curiously. Kunwu Supreme, could it be that this is a gathering of talents from all races, holding a battlefield similar to the Battle of Luck, and cultivating the most talented godson? That's right. Kunwu Supreme nodded. Actually, long ago, some cosmic clans joined forces to hold the battle of the godson of 10,000 realms, but the scope did not spread to the cosmic clan of the entire universe. In the battle, a large number of geniuses will be put into the 10,000 worlds composed of thousands of worlds, and they will be killed from one layer of the world, step by step, and will be promoted to a higher level of the world. In the end, the most powerful will gather together. Several people played against each other in the highest world, and the winner was the son of 10,000 realms, who gathered a lot of luck and helped to break some limit restrictions. Kunwu Supreme, in this way, wouldn't it be cheaper for the sons of the era? Once they gather a lot of luck, wouldn't they make them progress quickly? Yi Tian asked. It is indeed cheaper for those sons of the era, but if the sons of the era want to really grow up, 100,000 years is not enough, so what we are really worried about are those Supreme. Report this time the plan of the sons of the world is also for you to arrest. Live in the children of the era for 1 or 2 years and interrogate them. In the battle of the gods of the world, those supreme beings cannot rescue the children of the era, otherwise they will break the rules, and you will not be hindered in doing anything in the world. In the outside world, we dare not take action against the son of Era, otherwise it will easily lead to disputes. Kunwu Supreme rode. So it is. Yi Tian nodded, and immediately said, okay, I am willing to join this plan. However, this way, it will also offend those Supremes. That doesn't matter, we have signed an agreement with the other party after all, as long as the agreement is not broken, they will not dare to be too presumptuous. Besides, even if one of them loses 1 or 2 of the sons of the era, they may not dare to fight with us, just like the Protoss and the demon race also lost His Highness Hengu level and Supreme level Highness, and even lost a Celestial Venerable, but they didn't dare to make trouble, so don't worry. Kunwu Supreme said. It is good. Yi Tian was relieved, and after returning, he silently waited for Kunwu Supreme's notification. It didn't take long for the 10,000 races to carry out the plan of the gods of the 10,000 worlds to publicize it, and naturally it also spread to the ears of the 12 Cosmos Era forces. All of a sudden, this incident caused huge waves. The Lord of Primordial Antiquity, Supreme Golden Light, Lord Mingtian and other Supremes held a meeting. The Myriad Worlds Godson project will help our era sons to quickly accumulate luck, so that they can quickly increase their power, and even get rid of the constraints of the universe one step ahead of us. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. At this juncture, the 10,000 races of this cosmic era have started such a plan of the God of the world. Is it aimed at us? I think it may be aimed at us, to be precise, aimed at our sons of the era, His Royal Highnesses. Is it possible that they want to get some information from the sons of the era and the supreme level highnesses? It's ridiculous. Just relying on the genius quality of this cosmos era, they also want to compete with the sons of our era, can't they? There is indeed no genius in this cosmos era, but the star river level named Yitian is indeed good, although it is impossible to compare with our top son of the era, but it must be paid attention to. Just say, do you want those juniors to participate? If you do, there will be many benefits, but there is also a slight risk. Let them choose for themselves. In fact, they don't know much. Even if it is leaked, it will not affect our overall plan, as long as you don't leak it. Okay, then tell them, as to whether they go or not, it's up to them. Then, these supremes informed the sons of the era and the supreme highnesses of the myriad realms plan. Some 073 era sons have little interest, while some era sons have shown strong interest and expressed their willingness to participate. In the blink of an eye, a year has passed. This day, at the junction of the Protoss and the demons, a huge world of myriad realms appeared. This is a myriad realm established by all races in the universe, and its defensive power is enough to defend against the blow of the top supreme. Just this myriad realm consumes a lot of resources, but for that plan, these resources are nothing. This day, galaxy-level geniuses from all races in the universe have come to this myriad realms. And Yitian and the supremes of the human race also came here. It didn't take long for many geniuses from all races in the universe to come, but Yitian glanced at them and found that the strength levels of these geniuses were not uniform, and some of the famous galaxy-level stars in the universe did not come. Obviously, those big cosmic clans didn't want their geniuses to sacrifice innocently, so they only dispatched some children of the universe with decent strength. Of course, the first-grade Hengu level His Royal Highnesses and the invincible Hengu level His Royal Highnesses are also coming from the galaxy level. As for His Royal Highness, Yitian did not see a single one. Boom! A strong wind came from far away. Yitian narrowed his eyes and said to himself, those people are here. Chapter 707 Entering the World, the plan begins. First update. Boom! One by one supreme beings from the 12 cosmos epochs came, more or less with 1 or 2 galaxy grades by their side. This time, the Myriad World God-Child project is specially organized for the galaxy level. If it exceeds the galaxy level, it is not eligible to participate in this Myriad World God-Child project. Of course, if the cultivation base is lower than the galaxy level, then you can also participate. But in this case, the cultivation base is too low, and the combat power is correspondingly too weak. 58 Galaxy Class. Yitian glanced around and muttered. Obviously, the Xinghe grade that appeared here is only a part of it, and it is impossible that there is only such a small galaxy grade among the forces of the 12 cosmos eras. Yitian didn't despise these Xinghe grades. The last time he fought against him was only one of them, Mingdong, the son of the era, and among these people, there must be many more powerful sons of the era than Mingdong. His accumulation at the galaxy level is not enough, so he is not arrogant to the level of the invincible galaxy level. Moreover, there are quite a few children of the era here, and there are definitely a lot of cards. Even if he can defeat other children of the era one-on-one, once these children of the era are united, he may not be an opponent. Enter the world, try to keep a low profile. Yitian thought to himself. At this time, the Lord of Primordial Ancient stood up and said, the first god, the first devil, let's also participate in the 10,000 Worlds God-Son project, what do you think? The first god hurriedly opened his mouth and said, Master of the Ancient Times, this time is just for the Myriad Realms God-Son project organized by the galaxy-level geniuses of our cosmos era, trying to cultivate a genius with bad luck. To give birth to a son of an era, you are not the creatures of this cosmos era, and the luck on your body is almost nothing, so it would be a bit unruly for you to participate. The Master of Primordial Ancient smiled slightly. He knew that the first God Master and others also wanted them to participate, but he said so on purpose. But there is no way, they really want to let these galaxy-level juniors enter the 10,000 Worlds God-Child project, and only the forces of this universe have the ability to organize such a plan. No matter how strong they are, there is no way to open it. Because this Myriad Realm God-Son plan needs to mobilize Chi Luck, and also needs to mobilize the power of the origin of the universe, only the forces of the current cosmos era can do it. First God Lord, what conditions do you have to mention, as long as these juniors are allowed to join the Myriad Worlds Godchild project? The ancient master said. The first God Lord deliberately remained silent for a while, and then pretended to discuss with the other supreme beings for a while. Soon, the first God said, Master of the ancient times, it's okay to let your juniors enter the 10,000 Worlds Godson project. First of all, only 10 people are allowed to enter, not too many. After all, your juniors are too powerful, far beyond if our juniors go in too much, won't we all be killed by you? The second condition. I want to know how you have lived in this cosmic era. The face of the Lord of Primordial Ancient changed slightly, and said, First God Lord, we can agree to the first condition, but we can't tell you the second condition. The first God Lord also knew that the Lord of Primordial Antiquity was impossible to say, so he just asked to make things difficult for the Lord of Primordial Antiquity. That's good, change a condition. The first God said, 2 pieces of Xeon and Supreme Treasures. I know you don't lack Xeon and Supreme Treasures, this condition is not difficult for you. What, the Supreme Treasure? The face of the ancient master changed. First God Lord, your appetite is too big, this is just a small trial for the younger generation, you actually asked for the Supreme Treasure, and it's still too. I can't agree to this condition. The first God and the ancient master discussed for a long time, and finally reached a condition that both parties were satisfied with. The Lord of Primordial Antiquity only needs to pay 1 Xeon Supreme Treasure, and must not interfere in the plan of the Son of God of the 10,000 Realms. No matter what happens in the 10,000 realms, the Lord of Primordial Antiquity and other supreme beings are not allowed to intervene. This agreement signed the Cosmic Source contract. Once violated, the punishment is extremely serious. This agreement is actually very fair to both parties. After all, if something happens to the galaxy-level geniuses of the 10,000 races, the first God Lord and other supreme beings cannot rescue them. So, it's a big gamble. It is conceivable that the galaxy-level geniuses of all races are destined to suffer heavy casualties, but in order for the plan to succeed, even if there is only a glimmer of hope, they will do it. Let's start. The first God Lord opened his mouth and said. Boom. The huge myriad realms are presented in front of people. On the periphery of myriad realms are dense imprints of laws, which protect myriad realms layer by layer. Is acceptable. The Lord of Primordial Ancient looked at the newly established myriad realms and nodded. But for him, it was just okay. He may not be able to easily break this myriad realm by himself, but as long as a few top supremes join forces, it is not difficult to break this myriad realm. Click. There is a crack in the world, and that is the entrance. At this time, the first God said, there are 10,000 middle thousand worlds, 10 great thousand worlds, and 1 heaven. Fight against each other in the 1,000 worlds, accumulate enough luck to enter the big 1,000 world, and then tear in the big 1,000 world, accumulate enough luck and then enter the heaven. Finally, the winner in the heaven can cast the strongest luck, and get a cosmic position, the messenger of all domains. Now, I announce the opening of the Myriad World Godson project. As soon as the first God Lord finished speaking, he took out a scroll. The scroll spread out, covering the entire myriad realms, and the power of extremely rich rules poured out and poured into myriad realms. At the same time, the power of the source of the universe has locked this area, which means that this time, the plan of the God of the world has successfully received the attention of the source of the universe. The Lord of Primordial Ancients noticed the power of the source of the universe, Zhao Hao, and frowned slightly, obviously very jealous. Now, although he has become a part of this universe, he did it through a special method. Even if he has concealed the origin of the universe, he is still suppressed by the origin of the universe, and naturally he is afraid of the origin of the universe. After all, the mere supreme is still just an ant to the origin of the universe. Go in, the first God shouted. Boom, one by one of the 10,000 races, the galaxy level poured into the 10,000 worlds. Most of the Xinghe level here have no idea what the purpose of the Myriad Realm Son of God plan is this time, and they really think it is an opportunity. But in fact, they became cannon fodder, just for the execution of this plan. Yi Tian has been watching the 10 sons of the era who are going to enter the Myriad Realms, and after they entered, they also flew into the Myriad Realms. The Myriad Realms project has officially started. Feng. Chapter 708 Capture the Son of Era. Second update. Come in. Yi Tian looked at the surrounding mountains and muttered. This is just one of the thousands of worlds in the 10,000 worlds, and this time there are only 10 children of the era of other universes who have entered the world. Therefore, the probability of encountering a son of the era in Zongchen world is very low. Those sons of Era can almost 100% enter the Great Thousand World, and even the Heavenly World, so there is no need to look for their figures in the Middle Thousand Worlds. I accumulate luck first, and it is easier to find their figures directly in the Heavenly World. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Soon, Yi Tian met a galaxy level member of the Jama clan. The Jama clan is just an ordinary cosmos clan, much weaker than the human clan, and this Xinghe level is just an ordinary cosmos child, and his strength is not strong. The Galma clan's galaxy level face changed greatly when he saw Yi Tian. Obviously, he recognized Yi Tian. I have seen Allah, I admit defeat, please don't kill me. The Jama tribe begged for mercy. Okay, let's go. Yi Tian said coldly. Thank you, Allah, Allah. The Jama clan Xinghe level hurriedly thanked him. After this Jama clan conceded defeat, a part of his air luck flew into Yi Tian's body, and 073 was swallowed up by Yi Tian's air luck. In fact, the luck gained by defeating the enemy is definitely much less than the luck obtained by killing the enemy. But Yi Tian's purpose of entering here this time is not to kill these galaxy grades. No matter how much he kills, it is useless, and he can't really improve his strength. As long as enough luck is accumulated, it is enough, and it does not affect the result. Moreover, if he really killed too many Xinghe level, after returning to the outside world, the masters behind those Xinghe level reckoned that he did it, and would definitely have prejudice against him and the human race. Therefore, there is no need for him to do anything to offend those supreme beings. Next, Yi Tian encountered one by one galaxy level. Most of the galaxy level encountered Yi Tian and took the initiative to beg for mercy, and some of the galaxy level were a little swollen, thinking that they could fight Yi Tian, and was beaten very badly by Yi Tian, but they all left their lives alone. Time passed quickly for half a month. On this day, Yi Tian gathered a large amount of luck, communicated with the scroll of luck and the power of the source of the Tao of Heaven, and instantly left this Middle Thousand World and came to the Great Thousand World among the 10,000 worlds. At this time, there are almost no people who have entered the Great Thousand World, so he needs to wait for some days. After waiting for the galaxy level of the Great Thousand World to gather for a while, a person with monstrous luck will be decided and then enter the heaven. Basically, a Great Thousand World has at most a few galaxy grades. Waiting this time will waste Yi Tian's time for another month. A month later, Yi Tian showed his invincibility and defeated one galaxy after another. There are many Xinghe levels who don't know the plan this time. In order to enter the heavenly realm, they united to defeat Yi Tian, but were easily defeated by Yi Tian. This day, Yi Tian felt in his heart, my luck has accumulated enough, I can enter the heaven. Without any hesitation, he instantly entered the heaven. All worlds, heaven. Yi Tian had just entered this world and began to look for the trace of the son of Era. With the strength of the sons of the Era, some people may have come to this heaven. After all, the sons of the Era must have been killed all the way, and the speed of accumulating luck is much faster than the benevolent means of Yi Tian. The most urgent task is to find one of the sons of the Era, catch him, and slowly interrogate him. Yi Tian thought. Immediately, he remembered Kunwu Supreme's exhortation to him. Kunwu Supreme asked him to find a weaker son of the Era. Once he encounters a powerful son of the Era, don't fight and entangle with him, and leave directly. Yi Tian himself really wanted to fight against the sons of the Era one by one, even one to many. But when you think of the importance of this plan, you can't be so arrogant. Go find a son of the Era first. Yi Tian decided. Swish, he flew fast, and deployed his copy talent, looking for the trace of the son of Era. Heaven, somewhere, one CJFI figure appeared, and it was Ling Wu, one of the 10 sons of the Era. Ling Wu is a member of the Golden God clan, and his fighting power is very strong. Even if he is placed in the Sons of Era, he is not weak, and he is much stronger than Mingdong at the beginning. At this time, Ling Wu looked proud and proud. Hee, the genius of this universe is really too weak. Those galaxy-level attacks can't stand it. They are really useless. I really don't know why the ancestor of Jingguang Tianzun asked me to wait so carefully. From my point of view, the old man, the ancestors and the supremes of other cosmic eras can join forces to sweep all the forces of the entire cosmic era. Ling Wu murmured, can't figure out why. He didn't dare to really question the supremes, he could only complain here. Suddenly, Ling Wu's face changed, and he felt a strong aura and a sense of crisis. Is it the son of another power era? No. Ling Wu looked into the distance, and saw a figure slowly enlarge, appearing in front of him. Yi Tian. Ling Wu recognized it. After all, Yi Tian defeated Ming Dong, and he was considered a son of the era, and before he came in, the ancestors asked him to embankment Yi Tian, and he naturally recognized it. Yi Tian stared at Ling Wu and smiled. Good luck, I met a son of the era so quickly. Yi Tian said with a smile. Good luck, I said that your luck is too bad, do you think you can defeat me if you win Ming Dong? Hehe, Ming Dong's weakness is too obvious, he is good at soul cultivation, and his body is a mess, it's just restraining Ming Dong, but when you meet a son of the era like me, who is mainly in the flesh, you are not worth mentioning at all. Ling Wu said. Yeah, let's go, Yi Tian said. Court death. Ling Wu was infuriated by Yi Tian's despised demeanor, and attacked Yi Tian. Boom, Xeon-level boxing skills came, and revealed the invincible physical strength. Obviously, Ling Wu's attainments in the flesh are very high. At this time, Yi Tian also displayed a unique knives of the Xeon-level Dao of the Blade Hun Tian Yi Dao. Cut, Xeon's knife slashed over, smashing all of Ling Wu's defenses with a destructive force, even breaking through a top-quality defense source artifact on his body, and even piercing his body through a knife edge. With this blow, Ling Wu was seriously injured. How come? Ling Wu was lying there incomparably weak, he simply did not dare to accept this fact. He lost, and was defeated by a knife. At this moment, Yi Tian grabbed Ling Wu, sealed it in the virtual world in the palm of his hand, and quickly left here. There was a battle here just now, and it is difficult to guarantee that there will be no other children of the era rushing over. He didn't want to cause a mutation. Soon after, Yi Tian found a relatively desolate mountain range and opened up a temporary cave. Time to interrogate this guy, Yi Tian muttered. Chapter 709 Execute the second plan. First update. Hypnosis talent. Yi Tian tried to use his hypnotic talent to hypnotize Ling Wu, but found that he couldn't hypnotize him at all. Sure enough, Yi Tian understood. Before he used his hypnotic talent, he felt that hypnotic talent would not necessarily be able to hypnotize Ling Wu. After all, the level of hypnotic talent was too low, and Ling Wu was the son of Era, and his soul was very powerful, unlike the creatures in this universe. Aspects are poor. In addition, Ling Wu has a powerful soul defense treasure to protect his soul, and it is almost difficult to hypnotize him with hypnosis talent. Of course, this didn't mean that Yi Tian couldn't hypnotize Ling Wu. Immediately, Yi Tian took another shot at Ling Wu, attacking him again and again, almost knocking him to a near-death state. Afterwards, Yi Tian bombarded Ling Wu's soul again and again with the soul-attacking secret technique, finally breaking the opponent's soul defense, and then using the hypnotic talent to invade the depths of the opponent's soul and completely control the opponent's soul. Yi Tian began to interrogate. Tell me, how did the creatures of your 12 cosmic eras live in this cosmic era, and how did you escape the cosmic catastrophe? Yi Tian asked. Ling Wu was hypnotized and said truthfully, I don't know either. What, you don't know? Yi Tian was stunned. In his opinion, Ling Wu survived the great disruption of the universe, how could he not know the reason? Under Yi Tian's repeated questioning, he gradually learned some things. It turned out that Ling Wu did not know how he survived. In Ling Wu's memory, he was born in an era that was far from the great disruption of the universe. At the galaxy level, he was sealed by the elders of the clan until the great disruption of the universe came. When the cataclysm came, he woke up. Later, he and some other sons of the era entered a gate of light, and then his consciousness was collapsed, and he did not see the scene of the cosmos being destroyed. When he woke up again, he appeared in the world of ruins. Moreover, when he appeared, it was not in his current cultivation, but in a baby state, slowly growing to this level. To put it simply, he woke up a long time ago, but he has only been recovering his physical body and cultivation base in the ruins world, and those supreme beings were infants at the beginning, and they slowly recovered to the current supreme realm. As for why he was able to avoid the great destruction of the universe, Ling Wu also asked the Supreme, but he was warned by the Supremes that he should not ask about this matter in the future, unless he broke through to the supreme realm, he would be eligible for this matter. Unexpectedly, these sons of the era do not know the truth. No wonder the Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era dare to let these 10 sons of the era come in, because there is no fear, even if there is an accident, they can't reveal their secrets. Yi Tian muttered. Of course, he didn't gain anything either. From Ling Wu's mouth, we learned that these sons of the era and the Supreme were indeed dead in the Cosmos Cataclysm, but they were only revived in this Cosmos era. This approach is a bit like reincarnation. Yes, it is like reincarnation, but these people are reincarnated independently, and they can choose to reincarnate in these ruins. But if the universe is destroyed, the reincarnation channel will also be closed. How can it be possible to reincarnate in the next epoch? What? Does the Supreme have such great ability? No, if they can do it, Kunwu Supreme and the others will not know. Moreover, the Supreme of the Six Paths Reincarnation Temple in the last era was so desperate, it can be seen that even in the 12 universe eras of those Supreme Beings, only a very small number of Supreme Beings have survived to this Cosmos era, and most of the Supreme Beings have not come to life at all, they are truly dead. Yi Tian thought to himself. After that, Yi Tian asked a lot of things, but Ling Wu really didn't know much. No matter how much you ask, it's useless. This son of Era doesn't know the secret of the core at all. Myriad races in the universe built myriad realms, and they have sacrificed a lot of galaxy-level lives. If you only ask this name for a little information, it will naturally be a loss. It seems that only the second plan can be implemented. Yi Tian muttered. The second plan is the backup plan, which is a plan to be implemented after the major harvest cannot be obtained. This plan is a bit risky, and it is easy to offend the great forces of the 12 universe eras. However, for the purpose of the great forces of the 12 cosmos era and the secret of how to avoid the great destruction of the universe, all races in the cosmos must take a risk. Even Yi Tian wanted to know how to avoid the great disruption of the universe. After all, he was sure of detachment, but as for his wife, sister and others, they couldn't escape. Yi Tian didn't want to detach himself alone, he also wanted to detach with others. So, if that secret can really make people avoid the great disruption of the universe, that would be great. The second plan is to capture more children of the era, then contact the outside world, and exchange the lives of these children of the era for secrets. Ask for flowers. Of course, this plan is according to one's ability. If Yi Tian's strength is not enough, he will not be able to capture more sons of Era. Other cosmic clans just use this plan as a backup, they just don't know Yi Tian's true strength and the true strength of those sons of the Era. Therefore, it is difficult to guarantee the success of this plan. Go and capture the sons of other eras. Yi Tian started to act. Time passed a little bit, and 3 days later, Yi Tian found a son of the era again. The opponent was stronger than Ling Wu, but he was easily caught by Yi Tian. With the passage of time, every son of the era was captured by Yi Tian and could not escape at all. In the end, there is still a son of the era left. 0. From the mouths of other era sons, this era son is called Aurora, and is a era son of the 4th Cosmos era. His combat power is very abnormal. He is a peak-level era son, his combat power is not comparable to other era sons, and his speed is extremely high. Quick, mastered a speed secret technique that surpassed the limit. This day, Yi Tian finally found this Aurora. On a certain river, Yi Tian and Ji Guang met. As soon as they met, the two started fighting. Boom! The aftermath of the terrifying battle shook the sky, and hundreds of millions of miles of rivers instantly turned into nothingness. War, war, war. Although Yi Tian didn't do his best, he also showed most of his fighting power, but he didn't show a crushing attitude. Obviously, Aurora's combat effectiveness is not weak. How is this possible? Aurora was very surprised by Yi Tian's fighting power. Yi Tian was only born in an ordinary cosmic clan, and this cosmic era is only in the early and middle stages, not even the later stage. Many inheritances are very weak, and even only inherited a small part of the inheritance of other cosmic eras, and did not come out at all. It belongs to its own path. How can such a cosmic epic give birth to such a child of the epic? Aurora was very suspicious. It stands to reason that a son of the era like Yi Tian should be the son of the heaven-defying era who came out of countless geniuses in the prosperous cultivation era at the end of the universe. No matter how strong you are, the ultimate victory must be me. Aurora roared. Immediately, the battle between the two became incandescent. Chapter 710 The second plan, successfully arrested. Second. Million blades of light rain. The aurora turned into a round of sun. This is the manifestation of the avenue of light, and it has already reached the ultimate level of the realm of the avenue of light. It turned into a round of the sun. Infinite rain of light shot out from the sun, attacking Yi Tian. Every drop of light rain was enough to kill an ordinary galaxy level. The endless rain of light gathers together, and the power formed is so terrifying. This is a true skill of the great Tao, just like Yi Tian's true chaotic skill, and what Aurora is using is a true skill of light. From the means of Aurora, it can be seen that in other cosmos eras, the great Tao true technique is a very common method, but it is very rare in this cosmos era. Of course, this has something to do with the development of the current cosmic era. Chaos Haifa, now, Golem of Chaos. Because Yi Tian's Chaos Haifa is almost compressed to the size of 073, of an ancient well, the formed chaos god and golem is only a little bigger than Yi Tian's body. However, if Yi Tian wanted to expand the chaos god and golem, it would be a matter of one thought. But once the chaos god and golem is made larger, the local defense will naturally be weaker, and the larger chaos god and golem will look more domineering in appearance. So, Yi Tian made the chaos god and golem bigger, turning into a huge chaos god and golem with the sky above its head and its feet stepping on the void. Puff puff, countless light rains bombarded the chaos god and golem, and they could not break the defense of the chaos god and golem at all. It's my turn. Yi Tian waved his hand, and a spear of the gods of hell appeared. Puff, the spear of hell Shenkong attacked Aurora. The spear of hell gods in the sky, the great space supernatural power, is already in the realm of Xiaocheng, and it is not the first to enter the realm of Xiaocheng, but the supernatural power of space that is close to the middle stage of Xiaocheng, how terrifying its power is. And Yi Tian has almost exerted the power of this space supernatural power, and no longer keeps his hands. Not good. Aurora's complexion changed greatly. He sensed the terrifying power of the spear of hell god's sky, and the feeling of being close to death came to his heart, making him experience the feeling of death for the second time. The first experience of death was the cosmic destruction, and the second is now. Aurora Aegis. All light shield. God-level defensive talent. 1. Celestial secret scale secret technique. 1. Aurora almost instantly used all of his defenses to block Yi Tian's spear of hell. Boom. The spear of hell gods bombarded Jiguang's body. Although it did not completely penetrate Jiguang's body, the terrifying space rules shattered half of his body through a special method. In an instant, the aura of the Aurora descended greatly, and the body was severely injured. Escape. Aurora wants to escape from here. He knows that he is not Yi Tian's opponent. If Yi Tian casts the spear of hell god sky again, he may not even be able to resist. Damn, this guy has hidden his strength before. Even the most terrifying son of the epic in our cosmos era can't have such a powerful combat power, right? Aurora thought, but it is almost unrealistic that he wants to escape from Yi Tian who has the talent of time and space. Time freezes. Space imprisonment. The power of time and space blocked this void, although it could not imprison the Aurora, but it could make his speed drop greatly. Soon, Jiguang was caught by Yi Tian, and his cultivation base was sealed, and he couldn't escape in a short time. Following Jiguang's defeat and being captured, the 10 sons of the era who entered myriad realms this time were all captured by Yi Tian and sealed in the virtual world in his hands. The task is half completed, it's time to contact Wan Ji. Yi Tian muttered, it is not very difficult to contact Wan Ji is not too special. Yi Tian has many ways to contact the outside world, and one of the ways is to use a communication device sent by Kunwu Supreme. This communication device can contact the outside world, not cheating. Immediately, Yi Tian turned on the communication device and tried to contact Kunwu Supreme. Outside world. Kunwu Supreme was sitting in a palace resting when suddenly the communication equipment vibrated. It's Yi Tian. Kunwu Supreme reacted and quickly turned on the communication device. Wow, a phantom appeared, it was Yi Tian. Yi Tian, how is it? Kunwu Supreme asked. Yi Tian said truthfully. According to the plan, I captured a son of an era, but I didn't get the real secret, and these sons of the era didn't know how to avoid the cosmos catastrophe. According to the information I got, these sons of the era are indeed they died in the great disruption of the universe, but before the great disruption, they entered a door of light, and then they died one by one. According to my guess, this is a bit like reincarnation. They entered reincarnation, but it stands to reason that reincarnation cannot avoiding the great destruction of the universe. I can't get any useful information, so I carried out the second plan, and now, all the 10 sons of the era have been captured by me. What, you caught 10 sons of the epic? Kunwu Supreme was shocked. He originally thought that Yi Tian could only deal with a few era sons at most, because era sons were weak and strong, so there must be very powerful era sons in those 10 era sons. Yi Tian was not necessarily an opponent. But he never expected that Yi Tian was so powerful that he captured all the 10 sons of the epic, which was somewhat beyond his expectations. Good, good, Kunwu Supreme repeatedly praised. Yi Tian, I will confirm, and then I will go to the first god of the gods. Although I also really want to talk directly to the ancient master, but with my strength, I really don't have the qualifications to talk to the Lord of Primordial Ancient. Kunwu Supreme, please see. Yi Tian projected the scene in the virtual world, and presented it in Kunwu Supreme's line of sight with the projection method of the communication equipment. When he saw the 10 sons of the era who were in a rather embarrassed state, Kunwu Supreme nodded in satisfaction. Okay, I'm going to contact the first god and the first devil. Kunwu Supreme Road. Immediately, Supreme Kunwu came to the temporary palace where the first god of the gods was located. Soon, many supreme beings from all races in the universe gathered together. First God Lord, my human race, Yi Tian, has already implemented the second plan, and successfully captured 10 sons of the epic, and can immediately execute the second half of the second plan. Kunwu Supreme Road. Really? 5.8 inches? The first God Lord asked in surprise. Really? 1. Kunwu Supreme affirmed. I underestimated Yi Tian. The first god was slightly shocked, and there was some jealousy in his expression. If it was in the past, he wished to destroy Yi Tian immediately, but now he can't do it. Yi Tian is more valuable to be alive than dead, otherwise they would have no means to punish the forces of those 12 cosmos epics. The Protoss is no longer the largest force in the universe, and naturally they dare not fight internally. Afterwards, Supreme Kunwu contacted Yi Tian to show the projection to the Supremes present. Let's go to the Lord of Primordial Antiquity. The first god was in a hurry. Whoa. A group of Supremes flew to the Supremes of the 12 Universe era, including the Lord of Primordial Ancients. Chapter 711 Agree to inform. First update. The Supreme Being of all races is here. The Lord of Primordial Ancient looked at the many Supreme Beings of this cosmos era and flew out from the temporary palace. Boom. The two sides met in the starry sky, and wisps of supreme breath collided. First God Lord, what's the matter? Could it be that the plan of the Son of God of the world is about to end? But it shouldn't be time yet, and the real Son of God seems to have not yet been born. 1. The Ancient Way. The first Divine Master and other Supremes naturally know that the Son of 10,000 Realms has not yet been born. Even if Yi Tian captures the 10 Sons of Era, as long as he does not kill the Sons of Era or make the 10 Sons of Era admit defeat, there is no way to deprive them of their chi, transport. Therefore, Yi Tian has not yet become the Son of God, so the plan of the Son of God is not over. Boom. The first God Lord stepped out and looked at the Lord of Primordial Antiquity, and said, Master of Primordial Antiquity, the plan of the God Son of the 10,000 Realms is indeed not over, but there is a little change in the 10,000 Realms. For the sake of our friendship, 29 I specially came to inform the Lord of Primordial Antiquity to avoid unnecessary conflicts between us. What happened? The expression of the Supreme Lord and other Supremes changed slightly, and they felt a little bad. Kunwu Supreme, come and contact Yi Tian. First God's way. It is good. Kunwu Supreme walked out, took out the communication equipment, and contacted Yi Tian who was in the heavenly realm of myriad realms. Boom. The projection of the area where Yi Tian was located in the heavenly world was thrown into the void. I saw Yi Tian standing in the middle of a mountain range, and there was a scene of 10 sons of the era being suppressed. Kunwu Supreme said, Yi Tian of my clan has captured 10 sons of the era, and according to reason, Yi Tian can completely kill these 10 sons of the era, and then he can obtain the luck on them and become the gods of the world. Inherit the cosmic position of the messenger of the Wanyu. But these 10 are the sons of the era after all, and losing one is enough to make a force feel heartache. Besides, this is still the son of the 10 eras. If Yi Tian kills them, it is difficult to guarantee that the Supremes will not be destroyed. The agreement has caused some unexpected situations to occur, so we are here to inform all the Supremes. What do you want to do? The Ancient Master looked gloomy. At this time, the Supremes behind the Lord of Primordial Ancient also looked very bad, especially the Supremes behind the 10 sons of the era were even more angry. If the Lord of Primordial secretly warned them not to be impulsive, otherwise they would really will rush past. It's nothing, it's just that the Supremes want to save the lives of these 10 sons of the era. If it doesn't matter, then we will let Yi Tian do it. The first god said. Wait a minute, the Primordial Master said quickly. Tell me, what conditions do you have, come up with them. The Master of Primordial Ancient is very clear that the real purpose of the first God Master is not to kill the 10 sons of the era. After all, doing so will not benefit them much. There are more than 10 children of the epic among the forces of the 12 cosmos eras, and they have not grown up. Even if they are killed, they will not be able to change the pattern, and will only intensify the contradiction between the two sides. Moreover, if the first God Master and the others wanted to kill the 10 sons of the era, they would not come to them. Therefore, as long as the requirements of the first God Lord are met, the children of these 10 epics will be safe. How did you escape the cosmic cataclysm? We want to know the secret. The first God Lord asked very urgently. As the first Divine Master of the Protoss, and he is almost the strongest supreme being in the current cosmos era, he can hardly progress any further. Once the cosmos is destroyed, he will almost certainly die. Therefore, he wants to avoid the cosmic disruption. If the great disruption of the universe can be avoided, wouldn't that mean eternity and immortality, and one can live through the epochs of the cosmos? In that case, it doesn't matter if you can't escape. Impossible, the ancient master said subconsciously. Why? Don't want to say it. If you don't want to, then the lives of these 10 sons of Era cannot be decided by me. The first God Lord smiled. Master of Primordial Ancient, don't worry, Ling Wu of my clan is still inside, he is the son of the top Era, he must not fall inside. A Supreme said. Under the persuasion of one Supreme Being, the Lord of Primordial Ancient opened his mouth and said, well, let's discuss it, how about it? Okay, you can negotiate slowly, we are not in a hurry. First God's way. It is the Supreme Beings such as the Primordial Lord who are in a difficult situation now, not them. In the view of the first God, the life of the 10 epic sons is absolutely very important to the ancient Lord. After all, the birth of an epic son is not easy, and the number of the forces of the 12 cosmic epics is very small. Even if the race is recreated, it takes a long time to develop, and it is impossible not to care about the life and death of these children of the era. Moreover, it's just to say how to avoid the cosmic catastrophe. The Supremes of the 12 Cosmos eras know it, and it is not impossible to tell them the Supremes of the 13th Cosmos era. Therefore, the first God Lord thinks that the Lord of Primordial Ancients is very likely to speak. At this time, the Supreme Lord of Primordial Ancient and other Supremes are negotiating. Everyone, what should we do now? How to avoid the great destruction of the universe is an extremely important secret for us. Before that existence did not tell the power of this cosmos era, if we said it rashly, would we offend that existence? The ancient way, Ming Tianzun said. It shouldn't be, the existence of the few 073 Supremes who have informed us of the 12 universe eras, even telling the Supreme Lord of the 13th universe era is no big deal. As long as you don't tell the real purpose and that the secret of the existence is enough. Only half of the secret is told, and the existence is not mentioned. Besides, they are informed. They can't avoid the cosmic catastrophe, which is equivalent to a useless news. It is very worthwhile to exchange a useless message for the lives of 10 children of the era. Don't forget, every son of Era has the potential to break the limit and become a transcendental one. That existence wants us to give birth to a few more transcendental ones. Naturally, we cannot give up the lives of these sons of the era. If they confront those 10,000 races in the future, they will definitely know it, and it doesn't matter if they say it earlier. Quote, I agree with Venerable Master Ming Tian, as long as you don't tell the core secret, it's nothing to avoid the secret of the cosmos catastrophe, and they can't follow suit anyway. Another Jin Guangtian said. After some discussion, many Supremes agreed with a majority of votes to inform the first God Lord and others about the secrets of avoiding the great disruption of the universe. Wow! The Lord of Primordial Antiquity stepped forward, came to the first God Lord, and said, First God Lord, we agree to tell you the secret of the great destruction of the universe, but you must release the 10 children of the era. Yes, I can guarantee it. The First Way of God. Chapter 712 The Secret of Avoiding the Great Disruption of the Universe. 2nd. Seeing that the first Divine Master promised to release the 10 sons of Era, the Master of Primordial Ancient sighed and said, well, let me tell you the secret of avoiding the great destruction of the universe. The first God Lord, the first Demon Lord, Kunwu Supreme and others immediately looked solemn and listened to the narration of the Primordial Lord. The Ancient Master said, the universe is an incomparably huge celestial body in our eyes, but in the chaos, the universe is just an ordinary chaotic world. The universe is born, and there is a day of destruction, but before it is completely destroyed, it will experience cosmic catastrophes time and time again. This is a means of cosmic self-preservation. And I was born in the first era of the universe. The first era of the universe is when the universe has just been born, the resources are extremely rich, and the opportunity is very great. Even if the cultivation needs to start from scratch, there is a great power in the chaos that has invested in the inheritance in the universe, so the cultivation has not gone the wrong way. I achieved the Supreme in the first universe era, and the Supreme achieved by the Son of the Peak era. Even other powerful Supremes are like ants in my eyes. It's a pity that I couldn't get out of it, because I didn't break the cosmos limit when I was at the Emperor level and became His Highness at the Supreme level. Just because of this, I don't have the slightest chance of detachment at all. But I accidentally discovered an inheritance, which tells the mystery of the universe. One of the mysteries excites me because he has the chance to make me live another cosmic era. The Lord of Primordial Antiquity paused, then said, This inheritance tells me that the 12 universe eras of the universe will enter a cycle of reincarnation, and the 13th universe era is a new era of reincarnation. As long as you create a special reincarnation treasure, you can pass the cycle. The ultimate treasure of reincarnation is reincarnated, avoiding the origin of the universe, and directly reincarnating into a new era of reincarnation. Since the universe has also undergone reincarnation, the origin of the universe in the 13th era will fall into a period of weakness, and will not be able to govern the creatures of the first 12 universe eras. Smuggling over means that the origin of the new cosmic era will erase everything before. In this way, once we smuggle into this cosmic era, although the origin of the universe will suppress us, it will not erase us, because in the eyes of the origin of the universe, we are at most one type, but we are not mortals. Compared with you, you should know why the previous cosmos era could cultivate the physical body, energy, and soul without any restrictions, but now this cosmos era restricts the soul, especially it is a physical body, and it is impossible to cultivate above the God level. That is because the origin of the universe has fallen into a state of incomparable weakness, so it is necessary to suppress the growth of the creatures of this cosmos era. Once the next cosmos era, everything will recover. Therefore, today's the 13th cosmic era is a very special cosmic era, and it is also the reason why we can live to this cosmic era. Master of Primordial Ancient, you can reincarnate in this cosmos era, why can people from other cosmos eras? The first god asked. Ha 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 ha. The Lord of Primordial Ancient laughed. That's because I left the inheritance and also the treasure of reincarnation, and a certain force in the other 11 cosmos eras got the treasure of reincarnation. Only then can we be reincarnated in this cosmic era. However, the reincarnation treasure has limited power and cannot allow more people to reincarnate in the 13th cosmic era, so we can only reincarnate these supreme beings and the sons of a few eras. HMPH, Lord of Primordial Antiquity, in this way, you only live one more era, why are you hiding us, and it is so high profile? You must be hiding our secrets, right? The first God Lord asked. The Lord of Primordial Ancient said coldly, First God Lord, I don't need to answer your question, I have already told the answer. By the way, I'll tell you a secret, the treasure of reincarnation is gone, and even if it is still there, it is useless to you. Now is the 13th cosmic era, and the 12th cosmic era of the universe is reincarnated, and the rules will change every time, and I can no longer create a reincarnation treasure that can reincarnate in the 25th cosmic era. The first divine master looked disappointed. If it was true as the master of Primordial Ancients said, they would have no way to avoid the great destruction of the universe. The first God Lord, the Lord of Primordial Antiquity must still have secrets that he hasn't told us. I think their real purpose is to be detached. Didn't he say that he had obtained the inheritance of the great power in the primordial chaos, and the Lord of Primordial Antiquity? There is definitely no way to destroy the inheritance of that Almighty, maybe we can find it. The second God Master said. After we go back, send the clan to search with all our strength. The first God Lord decided. Okay, let's release the 10 sons of the era. The first God responded. Immediately, Kunwu Supreme contacted Yi Tian and asked Yi Tian to release the 10 sons of the era. All worlds, heaven. Yi Tian released the children of the era one after another, but only if these children of the era admit defeat. Under the threat of death, these sons of the era naturally admit defeat. As soon as these sons of the era conceded defeat, Yi Tian's luck skyrocketed many times. At the same time, the scroll above the void of all worlds emerged, and a huge phantom shrouded the heavens and the earth, connecting with the origin of the universe. Next moment, Yi Tian was rolled out of the heaven by the scroll and stood in the void. Then, boom, the power of the origin of the universe poured into Yi Tian's body, and this power was very pure, similar to the power of the original wasteland. Cultivating the Chaos Golden Desolate Art. Yi Tian reacted and immediately started the Chaos Golden Desolate Art. The Chaos Golden Desolation Art comes from an almighty in the chaos, it is extremely mysterious, but it is also extremely difficult to cultivate. If you cultivate according to normal methods, the progress will be too slow. Now, with the blessing of the chaotic source power, Yi Tian's cultivation speed is getting faster and faster. Originally, Yi Tian had already cultivated the 5th layer of the Chaos Golden Desolate Art to the peak of entry, but now he broke the shackles in an instant, breaking through to the realm of Chaos Golden Desolation Art. Small achievement. Middle School, Late Stage, the pinnacle of Shaocheng. Dacheng Realm, Mid-Season, Late Stage. Suddenly, Yi Tian couldn't feel the influx of power from the source of chaos Jiao Hao, and the 5th layer of the Chaos Golden Desolation Art was fixed in the late Dacheng realm, which was not far from the 5th layer of the Chaos Golden Desolation Art. Opening his eyes, Yi Tian felt the urgent need for energy in his body. He can continue to improve his physical body, and then his combat power will skyrocket again. Whoa whoa whoa, a large number of galaxy grades were removed from myriad realms, and Yi Tian also followed. At this time, Yi Tian found that many galaxy levels remained in myriad realms forever. Although some galaxy-level fortunes had greatly increased, the harvest was not great. This time, the Myriad World God Sun project finally cast only one person, and that is him, Yi Tian. Pity, Yi Tian sighed, but in order to carry out the plan, Wanzu can only sacrifice these galaxy grades. Yi Tian, go back Feng. Kunwu is now beside Yi Tian. Once Yi Tian, one is in the temporary palace of Kunwu Supreme. Chapter 713 10,000 years later. First update. The plan of the Son of God of the world ended, and the supremes of the 12 cosmos epochs left with the sons of those epochs. And not long after that, the various races in the universe also left one by one. Kunwu Supreme also took Yi Tian to leave ahead of time, and concealed his breath, changed a route to return to the human race territory, and spared a lot of road. Kunwu Supreme did this because he was afraid of being intercepted by the supremes of the 12 universe era. After all, this time Yi Tian made the Lord of Primordial and other supremes lose face, and also made those sons of the era lose the opportunity to become the sons of the gods of the world. Although there is still a harvest and a lot of luck, it is not proportional to the harvest. Not long after, Yi Tian and Kunwu Supreme returned to the human race. As soon as they came back, Yi Tian and Kunwu Supreme chatted about the great destruction of the universe. Kunwu Supreme, did the Supreme Being of the 12 Universe era reveal the secrets about the great disruption of the universe? Yi Tian asked. Revealed, Kunwu Supreme said. In line with your previous guess, they came to the 13th Universe era through reincarnation. Immediately, Kunwu Supreme will reincarnation treasure, the secret of the new cosmos era, said. After listening to this, Yi Tian frowned. 073, Kunwu Supreme, why do I think they are hiding something? If all this is done by the ancient master, it is possible that he left the inheritance, really just let the 12 universe eras. The Supremes live another cosmos era. What is the meaning of this? And this time the reincarnation in the current cosmos era is not only the son of the epic and the high potential supreme level highness, there is no one else. If the treasure can be reincarnated in the current cosmos era, it will definitely bring its own relatives. Even if the quota is limited, it will not be given to other supremes. It will only bring relatives to live another cosmos era. Besides, the supremes of the 12 cosmos eras. It's a bit unusual for them all to unite. If there is no common interest, how can the forces of the 12 cosmos eras be united? Yeah, so the Lord of Primordial Ancient has definitely concealed some important secrets, and now the only clue is the so-called inheritance. There are indeed strong people in the universe from chaos, and most of them are encountered by strong people. In this universe, I just throw in some inheritances, and I once got an inheritance. Therefore, the inheritance of the strong man said by the ancient master is very likely to be true. If we find the inheritance CJFI of that person, say maybe you will know what secrets the Lord of Primordial Ancient is hiding. Kunwu Supreme Road. If you can capture a Supreme, maybe you can directly interrogate the secret. Yi Tian muttered. That's too difficult. Kunwu Supreme shook his head. Those Supremes are extremely powerful, and the weakest among them may be stronger than me. Once the Supreme Being of the 12 cosmos era is shot, it will be tantamount to war, and the consequences are not a single family can afford. Yi Tian nodded secretly. With the strength of the various races in the universe today, it is indeed not suitable for war. Not to mention anything else, just like the Lord of Primordial Ancient, it is estimated that no Supreme Being is his opponent. If it weren't for the supreme beings such as the Lord of Primordial Ancients being suppressed by the origin of the universe, otherwise the Lord of Light Primordial Ancient alone would be enough to sweep all the supremes. Yi Tian, grow up as soon as possible, I always feel that something big will happen in the near future. Kunwu Supreme said with emotion. Kunwu Supreme, I will. Yi Tian nodded in response. After leaving the Kunwu Temple, Yi Tian returned to the Holy City Heavenly Pavilion. This time, the Myriad Realm Son of God plan made Yi Tian gain a lot, but it also put some pressure on Yi Tian. These pressures did not come from the Sons of the Era. Although the Sons of the Era were very powerful, perhaps there were more powerful Sons of the Era than Ling Wu, but it was those supreme beings that really made Yi Tian jealous. No one knows what the purpose of those supremes is. Maybe in the near future, war will break out. At that time, can the human race resist those supreme attacks? In the following days, Yi Tian basically stayed in the Holy City to cultivate. Not long ago, he cultivated the fifth layer of the chaos golden desolate art to the late stage of dachang. The limit that the physical body can improve is still very long, and he can continue to improve the physical strength. Therefore, he plans to focus on improving the physical strength next, and by the way, he will hit the fifth layer of the chaos golden desolate art of perfection. It takes time. Time has passed year by year, and in a blink of an eye it is 10,000 years. For ordinary people, 10,000 years is a long time, and it is an unreachable time, but for a cultivator like Yi Tian, a mere 10,000 years is nothing at all. In this 10,000 years, Tianj's development speed is far faster than other forces, and many galaxy grades, and even several cosmic gods have been born. Among them, Xiao Yu and Yi Yu have stepped into the universe god battle force one after another, and they are both very powerful universe gods. And Fairy Mingyu who joined Tianj has reached the pinnacle of the universe god. This day, Fairy Mingyu came to Yi Tian. Yi Tian saw Fairy Mingyu coming and said, "Fairy Mingyu, are you here to say goodbye?" At the beginning, the condition of his transaction with Raging Huo Tianzun was to let Fairy Mingyu serve Tianj for 10,000 years, and Fairy Mingyu did her best to refine weapons during the 10,000 years she became the chief refiner of Tianj. Tianj has grown and grown like this. So fast, Fairy Moon has at least half of the credit. In addition, Fairy Mingyu has also been successfully promoted to the Supreme Treasure level Divine Master not long ago, and has been able to refine ordinary treasures, but the success rate is not too high, which is the threshold for just entering the Supreme Treasure level Divine Master. But even so, Fairy Mingyu's status is higher than many masters. If possible, Yi Tian naturally hopes that Fairy Mingyu can stay for some more years. It's a pity that the time he agreed with Raging Huo Tianjiao was 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, Fairy Mingyu can leave the Heavenly Pavilion, but he cannot stop him. Pavilion Master, I'm not here to say goodbye, I want to continue to stay in the Heavenly Pavilion. Fairy Mingyu said. Why? Yi Tian was both a surprise and a little curious. It stands to reason that Fairy Mingyu can completely leave the Tianj and return to the Raging Fire Temple. After all, the Raging Fire Heavenly Palace is a Heavenly Venerate level force, far from being comparable to today's Heavenly Pavilion. Fairy Mingyu said truthfully. Pavilion Master, I want to continue to stay in the attic, I think Heavenly Pavilion is more suitable for me, here I can give full play to my level of refining, although it is not as fast as in Raging Fire Temple for the time being. But I believe that in the future the pavilion will definitely become a force above the Raging Fire Temple, so I don't want to give up this opportunity. Does Raging Fire Heavenly Venerate know what you think? Yi Tian asked. The ancestor knows. Fairy Mingyu said. Before I came, I discussed it with the ancestor, and he agreed with my decision. Yi Tian was silent for a while, and then said, okay, then you will stay in the Tianj from now on. Thank you, Lord. Fairy Moon Road. Chapter 714 Impact the Realm of the Universe God. 2nd. Fairy Mingyu then withdrew. Fairy Mingyu will continue to stay in Tianj, the development speed of Tianj will not be affected, and I will worry less. However, the most important thing right now is strength. Yi Tian sighed. Today, his strength has improved rapidly. Compared with 10,000 years ago, his strength has skyrocketed. At the beginning, his Chaos Golden Desolation art was only the 5th level Dachang realm, but now he has used 10,000 years of time, plus the assistance of many treasures. Among them, he has found some treasures that can assist in the cultivation of Chaos Golden Desolation art. Practice. After a long period of ascetic cultivation and a lot of resource assistance, he finally cultivated the Chaos Golden Desolate art to the 5th level of perfection, and cultivated his physical body to the limit. In addition, Yi Tian has also made rapid progress in other aspects. For example, the Spear of Hell Gods and Sky has cultivated to the realm of mastery. The great supernatural powers of the door space have been upgraded from the realm of Shaocheng to the realm of Dachang. Even if there is the ability to speed up time, it is absolutely impossible to achieve. This is mainly due to the fact that Yi Tian once absorbed a trace of the origin of the universe, which is the real origin, but a trace of origin that was cut from the origin of the universe when the transcendence competed with the origin of the universe. This trace of origin allowed Yi Tian to comprehend many rules, and also witness the evolution of countless laws, which is like absorbing countless words of heavenly Tao in an instant. Therefore, his cultivation of the great supernatural power is not restricted, while others cannot do it, to such an extent. Yi Tian even felt that many space supremes were unable to cultivate a space supernatural power to the Dachang realm, perhaps still in the small realm. In addition, the Wheel of Time was also cultivated to the realm of great achievement by Yi Tian, while the supernatural power of the Wheel of the Five Elements was enlightened to the peak of the realm by Yi, and he was only one step away from entering the realm of perfection. In addition, the realm of chaos Tao is also at the limit of the realm of the law, and only one step away can completely enter the realm of the source. It's a pity that Yi needs to cultivate too many aspects, so if he spreads out cultivation, his progress will not be as fast as he imagined. Otherwise, if he cultivates only one subject, his progress will be faster. The next step is to hit the cosmic God realm. My accumulation is almost at its peak, and it is difficult to improve in other areas. But after breaking through from the galaxy level to the cosmic God, people's perception will undergo a transformation, even if it is ordinary. After becoming the cosmic God, it is possible to create some powerful secret techniques. In short, the more the accumulation of the galaxy level, the greater the transformation after the impact of the cosmic God. With my accumulation and potential, it will definitely become bigger. Moreover, with my current combat power, I don't have to be afraid of the so-called thunder tribulation. Yi thought so. The impact on the universe God realm is mainly to transform the inner world into a small universe within the body. The power of the small universe is a very advanced power, similar to the power of heaven and earth in the universe, and is completely controlled by the universe God. The universe God can even mobilize the power of the small universe to suppress a void, and can even achieve the effect of condensing time and space. In addition, after becoming the God of the universe, the body will also usher in a small transformation. For example, in this cosmos era, no matter how much the origin of the universe suppresses the physical cultivation, the existence above the God level cannot cultivate the physical strength, but after the galaxy level breaks through to the universe God realm, the vitality is comparable to the fourth order life, and the body is equivalent to a pseudo-fourth order. This is the rule made by the Tao, and even the origin of the universe cannot be changed. And Yi himself is a sixth order life now. Once he hits the universe God realm, his body will usher in a small transformation. It is impossible to directly transform from the sixth order to the seventh order, but it may be improved by one or two small stages. For example, he is currently in the sixth order early stage, and he may be able to be promoted to the sixth order midlife level, or the sixth order late stage life level. No matter how much the improvement is, it is a huge improvement for Yi. This day, Yi left the human race territory and came to the edge of the universe. He wants to hit the bottleneck again and meet the thunder calamity. This time, he didn't tell the others. The edge of the universe. Yi sat cross-legged in the void, and began to run the galaxy-level secret technique to impact the universe God realm, causing the world in his body to begin to transform toward the small universe. The transformation of the inner world into a small universe is not to open up the world and constantly expand the world. It will not be able to transform successfully. The real transformation is to compress the inner world at the beginning to form a source point, and then detonate the source point to simulate the scene of the Big Bang of the universe and form a small universe. For flowers, this seems very dangerous, but as long as the talent reaches the U level, there is no big problem. But if the talent does not reach the U level, the breakthrough cannot be completed. If the breakthrough is forced, the whole person will explode into nothingness. This is also the reason why the Xinghe level with insufficient talent can only stay at the Xinghe level for the rest of his life, and does not dare to attack the realm of the universe God. As time passed, Yi body world slowly compressed into a source point. At this time, Yi aura was almost gone. After all, the strength of his whole body was concentrated, so it was difficult for the outside world to sense the aura. Zero. Burst. Yi shouted in his heart. Boom. In the void in the body, the source point exploded, opening up a void in the dark. Then, countless galaxies, and planets were born, and the small cosmic barriers were quickly formed. It all seems to have happened for a long time, but in fact it was completed in an instant. About a few months later, Yi finally sensed that the small universe had initially stabilized. My little universe is so big. Yi was shocked. He has also observed the small universe formed after others have broken through to the universe God realm. Compared with other people, his small universe is at least 100 times larger. It seems that my potential is too terrifying, so such a powerful little universe was formed. Yi guessed. Immediately, he took out a large amount of chaotic rare earth. If you want to stabilize the small universe in a short time, chaos rare earth is undoubtedly a very good treasure. And this time, he also prepared a large amount of chaotic rare earth, and if the time is accelerated, the small universe can be completely stabilized in a month or two. Whoa whoa. A large amount of chaotic rare earth was sucked into the microcosm by Etn, and was integrated into the cosmic barrier of the microcosm, making the small universe slowly stabilize and become stronger. At that time, Etn was considered to have truly stepped into the realm of the universe God. At this moment, the endless thunder tribulation cloud was born in the void. The thunder tribulation belonging to him has arrived. Chapter 715 Plan, Collect and 8 Treasures. First update. Boom. The endless thunder tribulation cloud exudes the extremely terrifying rules of thunder, and its aura far surpasses that of ordinary universe gods, and is even comparable to some powerhouses who dominate the realm. Looking at such an astonishing thunder calamity cloud, Yi Tian murmured, "No wonder the inextinguishable lord of the Protoss didn't dare to attack the realm of the universe god. Holding a powerful treasure in hand is sure to kill you." Of course, for Yi Tian, such a thunder tribulation is nothing but the same. Boom. The first thunder robbery came and slammed towards Yi Tian. Yi Tian easily withstood the power of thunder tribulation, and tried to introduce the power of thunder tribulation into the small universe, absorb the power of refining thunder tribulation, and enhance the stability of the small universe. Only Yi Tian dared to do this, and if he were another heaven-defying one, he would definitely fight against the thunder tribulation with all his heart. Where would 073 have the time and energy to absorb and refine the power of thunder tribulation? This time, there are a total of 18 thunder tribulations. One is better than the other. Just the first thunder calamity is enough to kill the general supreme level highness. Only the top supreme level highness can compete with the first thunder calamity. Boom. The second thunder tribulation came immediately and continued to bombard Yi Tian. Boom, boom, boom. Yi Tian easily endured one after another thunder tribulation, no matter how terrifying the power of the thunder tribulation, how powerful the attacking power was, there was no way to cause substantial damage to Yi Tian, as if it was a scratch. Finally, the 15th thunder tribulation came. Yes, only the 15th thunder calamity is enough to rival the full blow of the weaker son of Era. Yi Tian secretly said, "I saw that the 15th thunder robbery turned into a divine sword of heaven, tore apart time and space, and slaughtered. If it were the sons of other eras, he would definitely treat the 15th thunder tribulation with seriousness, but Yi Tian just threw a punch with ease. Crack. The heavenly Tao divine sword that the 15th thunder tribulation turned into was directly interrupted by Yi Tian's punch, and it turned into countless thunder tribulation power and scattered. Still too weak, Yi Tian commented. The 16th thunder tribulation also came shortly after, and this time the power was twice as strong as before, enough to hit the weaker son of Era, but it was still easily interrupted by Yi Tian's punch. The 17th thunder tribulation and the 18th thunder tribulation are still in the category of the son of the Era, and they can't even threaten the son of the Era like Ling Wu, and naturally they can't threaten Yi Tian. Yi Tian easily survived this thunder calamity. The thunder tribulation of the universe god is not terrible, and the thunder tribulation of the master level is not difficult for some powerful sons of the sky. The real difficulty is the thunder tribulation of the transcendence, and that is the real horror. The last time I saw it, Ling Wu is both the son of the top epic and a heaven-defying person. Even with the aptitude and strength of the opponent, it is extremely difficult to detach. There have been many heaven-defying people born in the past 12 epochs of the universe, but the only ones who are truly detached are Tianjin Yuntin alone shows how difficult the road to detachment is. Presumably many heaven-defying people with outstanding talent have reached the supreme extreme, but finally died under the thunder of detachment. Yi Tian thought to himself. Yi Tian is not proud, he has indeed passed the thunder tribulation very easily now, but he has never seen the thunder tribulation of the detached person, and no one knows how terrifying such a thunder tribulation is, and whether he can truly escape. Therefore, he can only continuously accumulate strength and lay a solid foundation for each realm, so that he can survive the thunder calamity of the transcendence in the supreme realm and become a real transcendence. It's time to go back. Yi Tian took out the spaceship, got on the spaceship, and shuttled back toward the sanctuary. Soon, Yi Tian returned to the Holy City Heavenly Pavilion and began another period of cultivation. The many forces of the 12th Universe Era have basically stabilized now. They used this 10,000 years to create their own race and reproduced their race again in this 13th Universe Era. Of course, they created these races, and they can't improve their strength for the time being. They can only increase the population and provide luck. Another effect is to make them more closely connected with the universe today, which will shorten the time they are suppressed by the universe, and one day in the future will completely become a member of this universe era. This day, the Supremes of the 12 Universe Era gathered again and started a meeting. At the meeting, The Lord of Primordial Ancient opened his mouth as a representative and said, "Everyone, after 10,000 years of development, our major forces have developed well and gradually integrated into this cosmos era, and our strength can also play a little more in this cosmos era. And the children of the era under our command have also entered the realm of the children of the era. Except for one of the children of the era, the sky-defying strength is weak and died in the thunder tribulation, and everyone else is safe and sound. According to this situation going forward, things are going well. But made many supremes look solemn. They all knew what the primordial master said. However, my hope of detachment is still very slim. If we can't detach, then everything we do will be in vain. It's time to start our real plan. The 10,000 races of this cosmos era don't know our plan, we great odds of success." The Ancient Way. At this time, Venerable Mingtian said, "Master of Primordial Ancient, is it a little too early to implement that plan now? We agreed with them for a time of 100,000 years, and within 100,000 years, we are not allowed to do anything to the 10,000 races, and we will implement it now. If it's a plan, wouldn't it be?" "Humph." The Lord of Primordial Ancient snorted coldly. "Master Mingtian, are you afraid? Among the forces present, your Ming clan is the most wasteful and most easily restrained. If it wasn't for that existence who chose your Ming clan, you have long been annihilated in the great destruction of the universe." Being scolded and ridiculed by the Lord of Primordial Ancient, although Venerable Lord Mingtian was annoyed, he did not dare to refute. The Lord of Primordial Antiquity added, "Besides, we are just implementing our real plan, and we don't need to fight with the 10,000 clans, which is not a violation of the rules. We must collect the innate treasures without the 10,000 clans understanding. To the 13th for the Supremes of the Cosmos era, the first 5.8 days treasure is no different from other treasures. We can exchange other treasures of the same level for their innate treasures, and it is best to exchange them for Xeon treasures. Innate treasures are most useful to us. As long as we collect enough, our plan will be half successful. In addition, ordinary treasures of innate treasures also need to be collected. In this regard, let the children of the era collect them. The innate treasure of the Xeon treasure level. It's best to deal with those ordinary cosmic clans first, and don't provoke the gods and demons for the time being, otherwise it will easily arouse their suspicion. The 10,000 clans are not united, and we will not reveal the purpose in a short time." Another Supreme wrote, "Yes, let's discuss it in detail, and then start implementing this plan." 1. The Ancient Way. Chapter 716 The Capital of Heaven. Second update. The Lord of Primordial Antiquity waited for the Supreme to discuss it, and then began to formally implement their plan. At the same time, they also informed the Sons of the Era and the Supreme Highness of some of their plans, and asked them to collect the innate treasures of the ordinary treasure level. The mission plan to collect the innate treasure has begun. In the beginning, the Primordial Master and others were very low-key, and they were looking for some ordinary cosmic clans and some higher races to acquire the innate treasures possessed by those races at a higher price. For those races, there is no difference between innate treasures and acquired treasures, they are all treasures. Even in this cosmos era, there is no subdivision of innate treasures and acquired treasures. Therefore, in their eyes, the treasures are all weapons with similar effects. Therefore, the Lords of Primordial Ancient and the others are willing to exchange a higher price for the innate treasure, and they are naturally happy, because this is a matter of taking advantage. Moreover, the Lord of Primordial Ancient is willing to attach more resources and is more popular among some races. Over time 29, the Primordial Lord collected some innate treasures. Unfortunately, the innate treasures in the entire universe are very limited, and the Primordial Master and others must put away the innate treasures of this cosmos era. 300 years later this day, the Lord of Primordial and other Supremes opened the meeting to discuss again. "No, this speed is too slow. We are all looking for some ordinary cosmic big clans and higher races. Among those races, there are too few innate treasures, and some of the innate treasures rumors are even fake. This universe's real innate treasures are basically kept in the hands of powerful cosmic clans, as well as in the hands of gods and demons, as well as in the hands of some loose cultivators. It is time to trade with some powerful cosmic clans." Proposal of the Ancient Lord. In this case, the Protoss and demons will also know, and they will definitely doubt it. A Supreme asked, "Doubt is to doubt. As long as they are willing to trade, it is not a problem. It is a good thing. Even if the gods and demons are not willing to trade, other cosmic clans will be willing to trade. As long as they are willing to trade innate treasures, they can pay more." The Ancient Way. "Okay, then let's each be responsible for dealing with a cosmic clan." Golden Light Tianzun said, Can. All the Supremes nodded in response. In the territory of the human race, there is a huge city, located on the edge of the human race, called the capital of heaven. The capital of heaven is a very prosperous place, and this place is one of the few places where the human race can allow foreign races to enter. Here, there are many alien races, and there are even alien races that have a bad relationship with the human race. Although the capital of heaven was built by the human race, it has its own rules. Once anyone enters the capital of heaven, they cannot kill each other. It can even be said that the high-level human race must not violate the rules of the capital of the sky. It is precisely because of this that the alien race dares to step into the capital of Tianyu, making the capital of Tianyu prosperous. The reason why the human race established the capital of the sky is to be able to trade with other races. After all, the resources of each race are not complete, and some resources are not available to the human race and need to be obtained from other races. There are many business associations and companies of other races in the capital of Tianyu, from which strong people of human race can buy resources of other races, and aliens can also obtain resources and treasures of the human race in the capital of Tianyu. In short, the capital of Tianyu is a small trading place for all ethnic groups. Not only the human race has such a place, but other races basically have such a place. This day, a supreme with a mask came to the Tianyu capital, and his arrival soon caused a riot. Just because he entered the capital of Tianyu, he entered the trading place with the highest rules, and took out a top treasure, and it was the highest treasure among the top treasures, second only to the strong treasure. When the Supreme said that he could only exchange for the innate treasure of the top-level treasure, even the weaker top-level treasure could be exchanged for this highest-level top-level treasure, which shocked the Tianyu capital in an instant. Then, the high-level people of the human race also learned about it. It's just that this Supreme has hidden his identity, and only sensed a trace of the Supreme's breath, so he could not know his identity. But how high is the status of a Supreme? Naturally no one dares to make a Supreme's idea. If it was just a top-level treasure, it wouldn't shock the race, but this Supreme took out several top-level treasures, and the exchange requirements were the same, so it was a loss-making business. Therefore, the high-level Terran had to pay attention. Holy City. 5 or 6 Supremes came here temporarily to discuss it. The Supreme Kunwu was not present, but the Supreme Curse was here. Everyone, you should all know what happened in the capital of Tianyu. That Supreme Being, who knows which clan is the Supreme, actually used the highest level top-level treasure to exchange for the top-level treasure level innate treasure. There is no limit to the quality. Trading at a loss. Even if they belong to the top treasures, there is a difference. Could it be a trap? It won't be a trap. The capital of heaven is also the territory of our human race. If there is an alien Supreme Being who dares to make trouble, he will never escape. If it wasn't a trap, how could someone make such a strange transaction? Anyway, let's take a look first. Divine Blade Supreme, you go and have a look. After all, your Divine Blade Alliance is also good at business. If there is no problem, you can trade it. The Supreme Divine Blade pondered for a while, and said, okay, I'll take a look. If 073 has a problem, you can take action at any time. No problem, the other Supremes responded. Wow. The incarnation of God Blade Supreme dissipated. Not long afterward, the incarnation of the Supreme God Blade came to the capital of Tianyu. Without understanding the situation, the Supreme Divine Blade will naturally not come to the main body, and the incarnation is enough to solve the problem. Entering the capital of the heavenly realm, the Divine Blade senses the existence of that Supreme Being. This is. Divine Blade Supreme was shocked. Although the other party hides his breath, the breath on his body is far beyond his imagination. It is definitely not an ordinary Supreme, and even stronger than Primordial Supreme. Could it be that he is a member of the Protoss and Demons? No, the breath is not the Supreme of the Protoss and Demons. In the blink of an eye, Divine Blade Supreme understood. This is a certain Supreme of the 12 Universe era. I don't know which Supreme Lord of the 12 Universe era is Your Excellency. Divine Blade Supreme asked in the air. Second Universe era, Heavenly Grace. The Supreme Heavenly Grace appeared in front of the Supreme God Blade, said. It turned out to be the Supreme Being of Heaven. I don't know what the Supreme Heavenly Grace came to the human race's heavenly capital. Divine Blade Supreme asked with some vigilance. Tianan Supreme took out his top treasure and said, make a deal. Chapter 717 Innate Treasure Acquisition Incident. First update. Doing a deal? What the hell are you doing? Divine Blade Supreme frowned. I didn't want to do anything, I was just doing business. All I took out were high-level top-level treasures in exchange for low-level innate top-level treasures. From a transaction point of view, trading with me is a big profit. Divine Blade Supreme, as many innate treasures as you can come up with, I can exchange as many higher level treasures for you. Even if you are willing to take out the innate treasures, I am willing to trade them. If you are still not satisfied, we will pay you back. Can I use some resources to compensate you, even some inheritance, how about it? The Supreme Way of Heaven. What? Divine Blade Supreme was completely shocked. Such a transaction is simply a loss-making business, and it is simply sending resources. There is a problem, there is absolutely a problem. God Blade Supreme thought. After being silent for a while, Divine Blade Supreme said, Supreme Heavenly Grace, I need to go back and discuss with other Supremes. Can I wait a few days? Yes, but my time is limited. I only have to wait 3 days. After 3 days, if no one comes to trade, I will leave the capital of heaven. There are many races in the universe, and I have a lot of choices. The Supreme Way of Heaven. Clear, God Blade Supreme responded. Wow, the Supreme Divine Blade disbanded this incarnation and dissipated between heaven and earth. Looking at the dissipated incarnation of the Divine Blade Supreme, Tianan Supreme murmured, Human race, even if you doubt it, you will definitely agree under the huge benefit. He. The gloomy laughter echoed between the heavens and the earth, but the people in the capital of the heavens did not notice it at all. The other side, God Blade Supreme contacted other Supremes, and most of them were summoned. Except for a few Supremes who could not retreat and were difficult to contact, the other Supremes were basically present. At the meeting, Hunyuan Supreme asked, Supreme Divine Blade, what is calling us? The Supreme Divine Blade appeared in the capital of Tianyu, and talked about the transaction of the treasure. The Supreme Being of the 12 Universe Era actually came to carry out such a transaction, isn't it weird? 1. Kunwu Supreme frowned. Hunyuan Supreme said solemnly, I heard about this not long ago, you should know how many clones I have, and one of them is hidden among the aliens, and there was such a transaction not long ago. However, there is no contact with the Supreme Being of the 12 Universe Era, so it is not clear whether the transaction has been reached. Now, such a transaction happened not only in our human race, but in all races in the universe. Strange, the Supreme Being of the 12 Cosmos Era trades like this, isn't the loss heavy? God Blade Supreme asked curiously. There must be a purpose. According to the Supreme Being of the Divine Blade, the Supreme Being of Heaven only needs the innate treasure. In exchange for the innate treasure, they are willing to pay a higher price, even several times the price. Therefore, the Supremes of the 12 Universe Era must be they are collecting a lot of innate treasures. However, we don't know their intentions for collecting innate treasures. Otherwise, we don't exchange them for the innate treasure, and directly expel the Supreme Being of Heaven. An ordinary Supreme said, No. Supreme Primordial shook his head and said, This is useless, if you only trade with our human family, you can't expel them, and prevent their goals from being achieved. But now, it is impossible for them to trade with all races in the universe. Every race can tolerate the temptation to refuse to trade. According to my guess, most races are willing to trade, even close to all. As a result, our Terran refusal to trade will not work. Moreover, from the current situation, trading it's good for us, and we can get some of the resources we need from the Supreme Being of the 12 Universe Era. Well, I also agree with Hunyuan Supreme's suggestion. After the transaction is successful, we also need to report the situation to other cosmic clans, and the cosmic clans unite, and there should be hope to detect the plans and purposes of the 12 Cosmos Era Supremes. Kunwu Supreme suggested. Well, let's do that. Hunyuan Supreme rode. Next, the Supremes withdrew their incarnations one after another and began to take out the innate treasures stored in the forces. However, they did not take out all the innate treasures, and basically one or two of the powers took out one or two. Day 3. The Supremes have come to the capital of heaven. The capital of heaven. Tianan Supreme sensed the breath of the many Supremes of the human race, and smiled slightly, it's all here. He knew that the Terran must have agreed to the deal. As predicted, after the human race Supremes came here, they immediately traded with the Supreme Heavenly Grace. After some bargaining, the human race traded 11 innate treasures with Tianan Supreme, and obtained 13 treasures, and these treasures are of very high grade. One of the innate treasures is the Xeon Supreme treasure, but the grade is a bit low. But in exchange for a very powerful top Xeon treasure, it is a big profit. In addition, Tianan Supreme also gave the human race 7 or 8 top-level inheritances and numerous resources. All the Supremes of the human race, the transaction is happy. If you still want to make a transaction, you can use this communication jade pendant to contact me. 1. Tianan Supreme handed over a piece of communication jade pendant to the human race, and immediately left the capital of Tianyu. After the Supreme Heavenly Grace left, the many Supremes of the human race looked at the various treasures and resources in their hands, revealing a thoughtful look. Everything is true. The 12th Cosmos era has paid such a huge price. If there is no purpose, it is simply impossible. Innate treasure, why do they collect so many innate treasures? Is it possible that there are other innate treasures that we don't know about? Doesn't work. Zhao Hao, Hunyuan Supreme murmured. Contact the Protoss and demons. The alliance of 10,000 races fights against the forces of the 12th Cosmos era. The Protoss and demons are still the main leaders. Our human race is still relatively weak and can't do anything. Kunwu Supreme said. Well, contact the Protoss and demons. The other Supremes also nodded in response. In a flash, 3 months have passed. The entire universe began to be unsettled, and everything was due to the innate treasure trading event in the 12th Cosmos era. And several Supremes of the Protoss and demons also sat together and began to discuss. Those present were the first god, the second god, and the sixth god of the god clan, and the first god, the third god, and the fifth devil were present from the demons. A total of 6 Supremes started this small meeting. There is only one content of the meeting, the acquisition of innate treasures by the forces of the 12th universe era. Chapter 718 Gather in Yuangu Temple. Second update. At the meeting, the first god lord of the god race said with a solemn expression, everyone of the demon race, you must also know about the fact that the Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era are frantically collecting innate treasures recently, right? This thing is not normal. The Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era are frantically collecting innate treasures. They all bought it at a value several times higher than those innate treasures, and only bought innate treasures. With the amount they bought, the price of their losses was too great. Even our Protoss couldn't bear that kind of loss, but they didn't. Don't care. Not long ago, our Protoss also traded with each other, but there were not many trades, just to test it. Your demon race should also trade with those Supremes of the 12th universe era, right? Yes, we have also traded, but our demons are not lacking in any resources, and we only traded a little innate treasure. We dare not trade too much, lest they have other purposes. But it is useless to do so, too much the big cosmic clan has traded with them. Said the first demon master of the demon clan. First demon lord, what do you think the Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era acquired so many innate treasures for? The first lord asked. I don't know. The first demon lord shook his head, but they will not make a loss-making business. Innate treasures must be very important to them, even to the point of no matter the cost. In our eyes, innate treasures and acquired treasures, there is no difference between the treasures, they are just weapons to assist in the battle. But in the eyes of the Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era, there may be other uses. First Demon Lord, are we just waiting like this? If they have any plans, or even if they are not good for us, when their plans are completed, it will be too late. First God Lord solemnly said. I can't wait, unless I catch a Supreme for interrogation. But those Supremes are too powerful, unless I join forces to capture the weaker one of them. But doing this is equivalent to starting a war. And if their support is very fast, maybe we all have to fall and die. The first devil said helplessly. Then just wait. First God's way. However, we also need to pay close attention to the movements of those Supremes of the 12th universe era, and if there is a change, we should immediately mobilize. In addition, we also need to keep close contact with the supreme beings of other races and attack all at any time. I always feel that the 12th universe era it's not a simple plan. The first demon lord said solemnly. That's natural, the first god answered. In a flash, 1,000 years have passed. The Supremes of the 12th Cosmos era plus the Sons of the Era, the Supreme Level Highness have collected a large number of innate treasures, and it can even be said that 30% of the innate treasures of the universe have fallen into their hands. Of course, they also paid a higher price, almost consuming a lot of the previous accumulation. The other side, Yi Tian retreated for thousands of years, and basically exhausted many of the resources he had obtained in the chaotic small world, and finally raised his cultivation to the pinnacle of the universe god. In addition, he also cultivated the 13th set of movements of the 18 golden body art to a perfect state, and began to involve the 14th set of movements of the 18 golden body art. It is worth mentioning that Yi Tian finally practiced the second form of the Tiangong tactics. The Tiangong tactics were countless secret techniques created by the transcendental master Yuntan Tianjin. The first style alone was quite astonishing, and it could increase the combat power by 6 times in an all-round way. The second style was even more difficult to cultivate. Today, he has only practiced the second style. The power of the second style of the Tiangong warfare method is even more terrifying. It can increase the combat power by 8 times. It seems to be only a little bit more powerful than the first style. Increase it. Of course, Yi Tian has too many aspects to improve. After all, he has only broken through to the universe god not long ago, and the accumulation is far from enough, and he is still far away from hitting the master realm. However, Yi Tian did not continue to retreat, but chose to leave. He needs to understand the current development of Tianj, as well as the situation in the outside world. CJFI Yi Tian came to EU for the first time and learned about the development of the pavilion like today. Similar to his prediction, Tianj developed steadily, and established the Tianj Chamber of Commerce, which spread all over the sanctuary. As for the external situation, not much has changed. What Yi Tian wants to know is the affairs of those forces in the 12 Cosmos era, but the level of Tianj is too low to reach such an advanced level, so he cannot learn from Tianj. And Yi Tian didn't want to bother Kunwu Supreme, so he asked Fairy Mingyu from Tianj to ask her ancestor Lihuo Tianzun for news. Soon, news about the 12 Universe era came. Those forces in the 12 Cosmos era are collecting innate treasures. Yi Tian was a little surprised. If it is normal to collect innate treasures, then it is nothing. The key is that the supreme people of the 12 Cosmos era bought the innate treasures at several times the price, which is thought-provoking. There must be something wrong behind this. Moreover, Yi Tian felt that the universe would soon have a big change, and it might even have something to do with the innate treasure. We can only wait and hope that things don't get too bad. Yi Tian secretly said. Yuangu Temple. Since the forces of the 12 Cosmos era occupied 100 star fields, the Lord of Primordial Antiquity moved the Yuangu Temple to one of the star fields, and the Yuangu Temple served as the station of the first Cosmos era, and the Lord of Primordial Ancient has always lived there. It's here. This day, the supremes of other Cosmos eras gathered in the Yuangu Hall, headed by the Yuangu Lord, obeying the orders of the Yuangu Lord, and surrounded by a large number of formations. The Lord of Primordial Ancient is not the most powerful among these supreme beings, he can only be regarded as one of the strongest supreme beings. There are several supreme beings whose strength is on par with him, but the status of the Lord of Primordial Ancient is even more transcendent, because he is the person responsible for the entire program. Therefore, the other supremes obeyed the orders of the Lord of Primordial Ancient, and started their plans with Primordial Ancient Temple as the core place. At this time, there are a large number of innate treasures in Yuangu Hall, all of them collected over the years, and the number has reached a terrifying level. If a certain clan gets these innate treasures, their strength will inevitably skyrocket. Today, these innate treasures are placed on a huge altar like garbage. Have all the supremes arrived? Asked the Lord of Primordial Antiquity. It's all here, Jin Guang Supreme said. Furthermore, those sons of Era and His Royal Highnesses have basically arrived, just wait for you, Lord of Era, to issue an order. The formation has also been arranged. Even if the supremes of the 10,000 clans come to make trouble at this time, they can delay it for a while. Besides, they can at most spy on them, and they dare not take action, so they are absolutely safe. Another supreme said. Fine, let's get started. The Ancient Way. Chapter 719 The Arrival of 3,000 Supremes. First update. After the Master of Primordial Antiquity waited for the Supreme Being to prepare, he scattered those innate treasures above the altar, and immediately opened the altar. The only function of this altar is to extract the cosmic source power contained in the innate treasure. The innate treasure is bred out of the universe and contains the power of the cosmic source, but the cosmic source power contained in a single innate treasure is too weak to be detected. Only special methods can be used to extract the origin of the universe from the innate treasure. As for the innate treasures of the 12 Universe era, when the universe was destroyed, those cosmic origins were recovered by the cosmic origin, so those innate treasures of the previous cosmic era looked like innate treasures, but they lost the origin of the universe, and the acquired treasures makes no difference. Therefore, the Primordial Master and others can only collect the innate treasures of this cosmos era. What they need is not the innate treasure itself, but the origin of the universe contained within the innate treasure. And that's just one part of the plan. With the passage of time, the cosmic origins of the innate treasures were extracted from the altar, and they fell one after another, and then their power dropped greatly. Of course, this reduction in power is only a temporary thing. As long as you pay some price, you can still restore the true power of the innate treasure. Just like the Six Paths Reincarnation Tower of the human race, even if the source of the Xeon Supreme Treasure is asleep, it can still awaken the power of the Xeon Supreme Treasure. Shish. One by one, the innate treasures that lost the origin of the universe were removed by the supreme beings such as the Lord of primordial antiquity, and there were fewer and fewer innate treasures on the altar. In an area outside the primordial ancient hall, one after another slowly emerged, the supreme beings of the gods, the demons, and some other great races in the universe. At this time, all the supremes were very dignified. Not long ago, all the supremes of the 12 cosmos era, the sons of those era, and his royal highnesses all gathered in the primordial palace, and a very terrifying divine formation was arranged in this area. Obviously, they have acted, and they don't want to be caught by us. Excuse me, I'm guessing they have amazing plans and have to be on guard. 1. It was the first god who spoke. Yes, the actions of the 12 cosmos era are not as simple as opening a meeting, otherwise all members will not gather in the primordial palace, and not only the great array is protecting this area, I am worried that they will carry out a plan that threatens all races. Ah, the first demon lord frowned. Want to attack? A supreme asked. No, the first god lord shook his head, there are still too few supremes who come here. If they are really enemies, our supremes are not enough to look at. I have informed the supremes of all races to let them rush as fast as possible. Come, wait until there are enough supremes. Now, try negotiating with them first. The first god said. Well, that's all there is to it. The other supremes responded. Immediately, the first god lord used the power of his soul to transmit his voice into the area of Yuengu Temple. Master of primordial antiquity, what are you doing? Please let me know, otherwise we will think that you are threatening and destroying the safety of all races. The first god said. One after another voice passed in, and those supremes who guarded the ancient temple naturally knew. Yuengu Temple. A supreme reported to the Lord of primordial antiquity and others. The Lord of primordial antiquity, all the supremes of all races are here, spying on the outside, and he asked us to show the situation. Are you here? It's normal. After all, they have been spying on us, and knowing that we are gathered together, they are naturally worried. The ancient master sneered. Don't worry about them, they don't dare to attack for the time being, even if they come to attack, those formations it's also enough to hold them back for a while, so don't worry. Yes, the Supreme Road, outside the Yuengu Temple. The first Divine Lord and the first Demon Lord have gloomy expressions on their faces. They have passed the news many times, but no one has ever come out to explain. Obviously, these Supremes of the 12 Universe era will not manage their money. It seems that they are really carrying out a plan, which may be unfavorable to us. They don't want to explain, or they can't explain it at all, and they may not even be able to leave the primordial palace. They can't wait too long, otherwise when their plan is completed, then it's really bad. First Demon Lord rode. Wait, the first God Lord gritted his teeth and said, it's too dangerous to appear now, wait for the gathering of 3,000 Supremes to take action. The Protoss has now come to more than 100 Supremes, but not all of them have arrived, otherwise there will be problems. Wouldn't the Protoss be about to decline, and the demons have only come to more than 100 Supremes? For flowers, just from the number of Supreme beings, the Protoss and demons far surpassed other great races in the universe. And other cosmos great clans also came to some Supreme beings, but even so, only 500 Supremes have been gathered now, which is far from the number of 3,000 Supremes. Time passed by, and the number of Supremes became more and more numerous. But the universe is too big, and it will take time for them to inform other cosmos clans, and then to other cosmos clans to hold a meeting to let them go, and then to come here. Therefore, it is not easy to gather 3,000 Supremes. There are also some ordinary cosmic clan Supreme beings that are few in number, and are not willing to take risks, so they may not necessarily send Supreme. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. 0, 0. 2809 Supreme. The first god murmured, wait, I have an ominous feeling, continue to wait, I'm afraid something will happen. The first devil said. The face of the first god changed several times, and said, no wait, attack the formation in this area. 1 inch. Yes, the other Supremes said one after another. At this time, even if some Supreme beings are unwilling to take action, they have to take action. The arrow is on the string, and it has to be sent. Boom, the Supremes shot with all their might, and one after another attacked the formation outside the Yuengu Temple. But the power of these formations is too terrifying, and even mobilized a lot of Supreme treasures as the formation of the Universe era. The full-strength strike of nearly 3,000 Supremes only destroyed some of the outer formations, but the core formations only trembled, and they were completely intact. How is it possible? What kind of divine formation is this? A blow of close to 3,000 supreme beings. I am afraid that even a world like the ruins world can be destroyed by us, but the core formation here is fine. The first god did not dare to believe. Immediately, he issued an order: continue to attack, take out the supreme treasure, and destroy the formation here at all costs. The other supremes followed suit, and as supremes, they all felt as if something big was going to happen. Boom boom boom. The supremes kept attacking, and a critical moment was reached in the primordial palace. Chapter 720, Restoring the Treasure of Chaos. Second. Have you started to attack? The Lord of Primordial Ancient sensed that the outside formation was being attacked by the 3,000 supremes of the 10,000 races, but he just smiled slightly and did not panic. It's useless, our plan is about to be completed, the supremes of all races, you can't stop us. The Lord of Primordial Ancient was slightly excited. In the Yuengu Hall, the other supremes were also very excited, but the Sons of Era and the Supreme Level Highnesses were very confused. Although these Sons of the Era and their Highnesses have basically reached the realm of the Cosmos Gods, their levels are not enough to reach the circle of the Supreme, because it is not clear what the Supremes are doing. But the Supremes let them come here, they can only come here honestly and wait silently. Wow, the last innate treasure on the altar was extracted from the origin of the universe, and then removed from the altar by the Supremes. At this time, 090. The Primordial Lord and other Supremes sensed the origin of the universe on the altar. Enough. The ancient way. Let's start, Venerable Jin Guangtian said. Numerous Supremes began to activate the altar, and the stored cosmic origins gradually merged together to form a cosmic origin ball, suspended above the altar. Everyone, take out the Chaos Treasure Fragment. The ancient way. Then, he was the first to take out a fragment, the type of which was similar to a broken jade pendant. It exuded a strong atmosphere of the law of chaos and the aura of origin. It was one of the most treasured fragments of chaos. The chaos treasure is above the level of the innate treasure, and it is naturally many times stronger than the supreme treasure. It is a powerful treasure that is only possessed in chaos. It can be said that the chaos treasure is the treasure bred out of chaos. It stands to reason that there is no chaotic treasure in the universe, but the universe has been expanding since its birth. Only after the universe collapses, it will be many times smaller than the original when it is reborn, but it will continue to expand, and so on. Therefore, if there is a chaotic treasure near the universe, it will be swallowed by the universe, and the chaotic treasure can enter the interior of the universe. But the possibility of this is too low, because the probability of the birth of chaos arcana near the universe is too low and too low. Chaos is so huge, and in such a huge chaotic region, there will not be too many chaotic treasures born, which can be seen by referring to the innate treasures in the universe. Therefore, unless the powerhouse in the chaos deliberately puts the treasure of chaos on the edge of the universe, it will be swallowed by the universe. This is the case with the chaos treasure fragment in the hands of the Primordial Lord and others. It was deliberately put in by a powerful being in chaos, and the forces of each cosmos era have a fragment. There are 12 pieces in total, and the 12 pieces together can be combined into a completed chaos arcana. How powerful the complete chaos treasure is, the Primordial Lord and others are not clear. Under normal circumstances, the chaos treasure is broken, its power will be reduced countless times, and it is difficult to restore. But there is a possibility to restore the chaos treasure, that is to use the origin of the universe to restore the chaos treasure. This time, one of their plans is to use the origin of the universe to restore this treasure of chaos and reproduce the power of the treasure of chaos. Whoa. 11 Supremes of the other 11 Cosmos eras stood out as representatives, took out the fragments of Chaos Supreme Treasure, and placed them on the altar one after another. Next, they moved the altar. This altar not only has the effect of extracting the origin of the universe, but also has the effect of mobilizing the origin of the universe to restore the treasure of chaos. It is one of the inheritances given to them by the powerful existence in the chaos. Boom! The origin of the universe began to merge into the shattered 12 chaotic treasure fragments, and slowly the 12 chaotic treasure fragments gathered together and began to heal. It can really heal and recover. While the Primordial Master was excited, he also breathed a sigh of relief. Before that, even though that existence had arranged everything and informed them of the details of the plan, they actually remained skeptical about whether it could be successful. Now, doubt can finally be removed. Success is at hand. At the same time as the source of the universe is rapidly consumed, the recovery of the chaos treasure is getting faster and faster. 10 hours later, a complete jade plaque appeared on the altar. At this time, there were only a few cracks left on it, and there was still a little bit of the origin of the universe, which was definitely enough. Time passed by minute, the master of primordial ancient and other supremes kept staring at the jade card, and did not dare to move it away. Suddenly the cracks on the jade card all disappeared, and a wave of Xeon spread out. In the face of this fluctuation, the primordial lord and others felt like they were ants. Treasure of chaos, restored. All the supremes were excited. Quick to the second step of the plan. The ancient way. The other supremes came to their senses one after another and nodded again and again. Restoring this chaos treasure is only the first plan, and the second plan is the real top priority. The so-called second step plan is to use this jade card to suppress the origin of the universe. If the source of the universe is in its prosperous period, even this jade card cannot compete, but the 13th universe era is the beginning of a new era of reincarnation. The origin of the universe is the weakest, so it can be countered by this jade card. According to that existence, this jade tablet is called Fengyuan Tianpei, and it is an extremely rare treasure of chaos, which has the effect of suppressing and sealing the origin of the universe. It's a pity that this jade tablet was smashed in an earth-shattering war in the ancient times of chaos. The existence collected it for a long time, and only collected 12 pieces. Unfortunately, it cannot be restored in the chaos, and can only be sent into the universe, to restore. And the forces of the 12th Cosmos era have a cooperative relationship with that existence helped them escape, and they helped that existence restore Fengyuan Tianpei in another plan. Once they are all successful, they will bring the jade pendant into chaos and send the Fengyuan Tianpei into the hands of that existence. Let's start. Only by suppressing the source of the universe can we make the source of the universe weaker. With my true strength, I can break the limit of the universe and become detached from life. The ancient way. Okay, let's get started. Other Supreme Tao. Immediately, these Supremes began to push Fengyuan Tianpei with all their strength. Fengyuan Tianpei is a treasure of chaos, and their cultivation is actually difficult to motivate, but in the past, they nourished the fragments of Fengyuan Tianpei all the time, and they had a certain connection with Fengyuan Tianpei, plus here there are a lot of supreme beings, and the manipulation secret technique given by that existence can motivate Fengyuan Tianpei. Boom! Under the urging of many supreme beings, Fengyuan Tianpei was mobilized, and the breath of its chaotic treasure permeated, suppressing hundreds of millions of stars. Suddenly, the universe shook.